Oh, hello. Meerkat, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm at the gym. How you doing?
Good, good, good. We have an interesting topic today.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, those who are coming in now, hope y'all having a good Tuesday.
So far,
And
so good.
here we go. And the topic today is who handles rejection better, men or women? Meerkat, what's your opinion? I'm gonna start with you.
I think it's either because it depends on the person and if they know who they are and the reason the rejection happened. That's what I think. Men can be hard sometimes, and women can too. So it's just it depends on the circumstances, you know.
So, I mean, it could be just a matter of opinion. It could be subjective. Um, but I guess how we know is this way, right? I do know one thing, and I'm sure you know this as a lady, that when it comes to the dating world, men have to do the approaching most of the time. So I would say men are more used to rejection. I mean, would you say?
Yeah, I would think so, possibly. Yeah, men are more can be more tenderhearted than women, also.
Say that part again.
I said men can be more tenderhearted than women sometimes. They
Yeah,
just hide it better, I think.
that's true. It's interesting because some studies would say that women hide it better.
uh, Women are more emotional. Yes, that's true. So that would make sense.
Yeah.
I know I learned to handle rejection. I had to. So it taught me a lot about myself.
Hmm.
What do I value about myself? Do I even value myself? And I didn't for a while, for a good while, you know. So it's just a matter of growth, what you learn from each circumstance, wisdom. You learn wisdom. You learn that you don't die from a broken heart. Some people do. Some people take their own lives because of a broken heart. But I think overall, if you really, really want to grow, want to be your 100% self, know your worth, and all that, I think you have to have the attitude. I'm going to learn from this. It's not going to kill me. I'm not going to die from it. And go forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely understand that.
I mean, like I said, I've been married three times. One was an annulment. That was before. But they were not good stepdads to my youngest son. And look, let me tell you something. I value my children, and I will go to counseling with. We went to counseling, and I was the one that always did the changing because they didn't have anything wrong with them. It was their attitude. And when my young son, he was young, and he was getting caught in it, and it was like seemed like it was directed at him to get to me. Nothing physical. It was never anything physical. I would have somebody if they would have physically abused my son, but I would walk. I'll divorce over my child, but of course my children are all grown now. So, but that's what resulted in me. And I met these guys at church. I, it was amazing.
Good
Yeah.
morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Lotus, welcome back.
Hey,
Welcome back,
hey,
Lotus.
hey. I grabbed my
Uh,
daily heartbeat and I gifted everybody on the panel. Good morning.
hey, how you doing? Hey, Meerkat, I'm gonna mute you only because it's like background noise. Okay, I'm gonna mute you in between.
Yeah, I'm outside the club. Hold on.
All right. Hey, Lotus. Welcome back. It's been a minute since you've been here,
Yes,
and
sir.
so You already know the rules. I don't have to explain it. So the
Yes, sir.
topic is who handles rejection better, men or women? Your opinion.
I'm gonna, in my opinion and from experience, I'm gonna say men handle it better situationally. I think it depends on the men, but overall, men handle it better. But it affects women longer. That, I mean, I'm speaking from experience in my group of friends, in my demographic. I feel like it affects women longer. And what I mean by that is, if I'm rejected, I may not show it, but those words of rejection play in my mind. And so it makes me hesitant to approach the next guy, approach the next situation with the next guy. I still have that playing in my mind. So I'm real hesitant, or I might miss out on an opportunity because of that rejection. So I feel like m- men handle it better, but women retain that rejection longer.
Hey, you make an interesting because I was going to get to that. You make an interesting claim. You said that you feel that women hold. What do you say? They if it affects women longer. You mean like
Yeah.
long? Yeah.
So
I
each
I
other. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no. I was just going to say. I made the point that, and I'm gonna get the Mila next. I made the point that men are more. We're used to rejection
Hmm.
in the dating world because of the fact that we're the ones that have to go out initially and make the first move,
Right.
you know? So we get rejected more in that
Hmm.
sense. Um, you know, and I'm not suggesting women do what men do in
Hmm.
that particular situation, but what I'm saying is I think men have learned to adapt more.
Hmm.
Now how they react is subjective. But in terms of them being getting rejected, I think us men, we kind of understand and realize that, hey, we're going to try, but we're more than likely going to get rejected and we'll just leave it at that. But
Right.
women are not used to being rejected in the same rate as most men are because women don't approach the same way men do. And not that they should, but I'm just saying that's just something that, that we know. Um, but yeah, Lotus, let me get the Mila and we're gonna get back to the conversation. Hey Mila, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Hey Mila, what's your opinion on the topic? Who handles rejection better, men or women?
I would say women handles rejection better only because like Lotus said, they do women are more hurt in the end. But for a man it's like, okay, I rejected her, I can move on. Um but no, it's yeah, no. It's kind of a touchy situation because I just witnessed a family member go through this like wholeheartedly in my face. So yeah, but I would say women definitely handle it better.
Okay. Now,
Men would crash out and make threats, and women on the other hand, they'd be hurt and walk away. But some women will try to make it work, but it just don't work out that way.
okay, okay. All right. Zacchaeus, what's going on, brother?
It was good, man. It was good. It was
What's
good.
going
Was good. Was good. Lovely. Was good. Yeah, man.
Hey,
Morning.
Good morning. Was
Hey,
good. My Marquette and
Morning.
Notice was good. How's everything?
all right, brother. Interesting topic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Who handles rejection better, men or women? Go ahead.
Wow, wow, wow. What a fun topic. Who has it the better? I think I would say that a lot of us, some of us men do handle it better. The only reason why I say that because so we had to there's a lot of things that we handle, a lot of disappointments that we handle, a lot of situations that we handle, a lot of because we are the um head of the household and certain things are head of the and sometimes we're the protectors. We do handle rejection just a little better because remember we don't lean on emotions. Women more lean on emotions, so a lot of us don't lean on emotions, so we just learn from it, and then try to move on. That's my take on that. Yeah.
Hey, Ultram, welcome back, brother. How you doing?
Doing well, Fifth. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Y'all can hear me clear, right?
Very clear. This is great.
Okay, great. Glad to be here.
All right. The topic: who handles rejection better, men or women?
I say men for the most part. I say that because, more men are being used to being denied stuff in life and personally. And as men, when we are rejected, especially when it comes to dating and how we approach women, because women very rarely approach us. We approach women, we're told no, we keep it moving. Whereas there's an adequate percentage of women where they're so used to not being told no that the few times they don't know how to handle it. It's like foreign to them, whereas it's normal for us. So that's why, because we're so used to, being dismissed and all that stuff, and we always have to prove ourselves over and over to quote unquote be worthy of a woman's attention. We know how to receive the no and keep it moving. So I say men handle it better.
That's what's up. Oracle 7, you there?
Yeah, peace. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, brother? Hey, I just like to explain the rules to people who are new up here, okay? And that is no cursing, no foul language, and we'll respect each other. You know what I'm saying? So the topic: who handles rejection better, men or women? Your opinion?
All right, so I'm gonna just piggyback over what the brother just said before me. So he's actually true in most of the things that he say, because when it comes to the perspective of relationships, most women don't initiate relationships. It's men that are doing it, and most of the times we are rejected. So we kind of do handle it better. Women, on the other hand, women are, a bit vindictive and manipulative. So you could turn them down. They'll try to sabotage your whole character. They start telling people things about you that aren't even true. I say all that to say that ultimately men handle it better than women.
Okay, all right. Uh, Beyonder, you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
What's going on, brother?
Nothing
Uh,
much.
you, you see the topic I sent it to you last night. You know what I'm saying? Who handles rejection better, men or women? Go ahead.
I feel like the answer to the question is a bit more complex than you would think. I'll say there are a lot of factors that go into it, and so when I was thinking about it, yes, what Ultram and Oracle said is correct. Men do handle rejection. We're rejected a lot of things in life, which helps us build character over time. But it depends on like what kind of rejection it is. Is it overt rejection or is it covert? So if I'm getting rejected up front, like to my face, then yeah, I'll handle that better. But if I'm being ghosted or, I think I get my hopes up, and like the girl ghosts me or whatever, or like just anything in general, that's gonna like suck more, I guess. And like I suppose when women reject men, it's for the most part overt, open, like you get friend zoned or something like that. But men, they'll reject a woman covertly. So like if that man's in their friend zone and all of a sudden he gets out of the friend zone and gets some action, he'll if that was his intention hit the entire time to get with that woman sexually, then he got what he wanted and he doesn't have to, really be with her. And so he'll just ghost her covertly, like in secret. And she won't know why. Because his intention the entire time wasn't genuine. You know what I mean? So I'll say that. And then but also on the flip side, right? Women, I think, can handle it better long term because initially, right? If they get rejected, it'll suck and they'll handle it like kind of bad. But then they have a social network they can lean on to, like their girlfriends, their mom, their dad, assuming that they have, a good circle around them. And it'll take them like 2 or 3 months to get on their feet. And then, they'll find someone to their liking in the long term, right? But men, when you're getting rejected one time, two times, three times, four times, 10 times, right? It's gonna start to play a little bit in your head, like, damn, am I not destined to be with somebody? Am I a loser? Am I a failure? Like, man, we have a lot of thoughts in our head, so that can affect us as well. So it just depends on like where you are in life, and then also like what kind of rejection you're getting, and also your intentions, like, or the other person's intentions whenever they're rejecting you or whatever. And I'll land there.
Hey, I'm gonna ask a question to everyone, and y'all could talk amongst each other as well. Um, in anybody's opinion, when it comes to rejection, right? So yeah, we know that men typically get rejected more, only because we do more approaching. You know, um, how we react can be subjective in the sense that not all of us are going to react the same. Lotus earlier stated that it affects women more long term. Does anybody agree or disagree with Lotus's earlier opinion about as far as it affecting men and women long term? And let's just talk about what happens after rejection is also the question.
Who's that addressed to?
The whole
Everyone.
panel, I think.
Um, a lot of us, we dust it off and we just move on. Um, that's what we do. We're used to that since we do most of the approaching. It's more like, okay, yeah, she's not feeling me now, so okay, I'm gonna move on. And don't feel nothing about it, and then we move. That's how I grew up, and that's how I was, and that's what I did when I was rejected many times. I just move on, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree with Zacchaeus because I've been on, whether it be off or on dating sites. I mean, of course, in my youth, I didn't know how to handle it well, but as I grew, I stick to the notion that people have their rights to their preferences, both men and women. So, like, if I'm on a dating site and I look at a woman's profile and she is requiring attributes I know I don't have, unlike an adequate percentage of women, I don't challenge the woman on her purposes saying why you got to choose this, why you got to do that. If I don't fit the bill, I keep it moving. But I've been on dating sites where certain preferences I have, I was asked why or I was challenged. So they don't know. I mean, nowadays they do keep it moving, but I've been challenged before as to why I have the choices and preferences I do. And I always question why that is, in the sense where, as I said, you if I don't fit the bill of what you seek, I don't say why are you doing this, why are you looking that way. I bounce, move to the next profile. But that's just me.
Okay, so I want to hi guys, to the men that are on the panel. You guys all collectively said the same thing, and so for a woman, if you're a wise woman, you're listening, and so I heard you each say that you guys are accustomed to rejection. So you built this sort of, what's the word? Um, resistance, right? You built this sort of resistance to rejection, which causes you to operate a little more fearlessly and differently from women, because you are correct. We don't do the pursuing, like Fitz said. We don't do the pursuing, and we are not rejected as much. And so what I said was, and it doesn't apply to every woman, so I cannot speak for every woman, but what it does, it applies to what happens to I can say me, is that rejection that I feel, it lasts longer, like a stain. And so I operate in, not fully in that rejection, but kind of like timidly and hesitantly for the next person to come along. Now, I, as a person, I believe in Christ. I heal, and then I give the other person a chance. But it lasts longer, those rejections, and I think it affects the way that we operate going forward, not in a relationship, but outside of a relationship, and being welcoming to people to come in. So here's my question, Fifth, and the other guys on the panel: do you carry that resistance into a relationship because that is what you're accustomed to? How easy is it for you to carry it over into a relationship? because you're
Yeah.
used to being, used to being rejected or whatever, not. So now you're in a relationship and you have this resistance up. Do you let the resistance all the way down, or do you operate in that same person?
Lotus, that's a great question, but hold that thought only because I wanted Mila and Biana to also respond to it. Then we'll get to your question, okay?
Okay.
Can you repeat that last question, Fifth? The one that was to the whole panel?
Yeah, I was saying that, Lotus mentioned who handles it, that women typically, it affects women more long term. So I guess my question was, when a man gets what happens? What dang? Now I'm forgetting my question.
What happens after the rejection?
Yeah, what happens? What happens after the rejection? I feel like I said something else to that.
You said, do they agree or disagree with my statement that
Oh
women
yeah,
change the title?
there we go. Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, when we, when a man is rejected, we start to, we reflect. We reflect on like, oh man, how can I be better? How can I like mitigate the risk of being told no again? I suppose. So we reflect on our choices and what and why we were rejected. Maybe it was the wrong outfit. Maybe I didn't smell good that day. I don't know. Any factor. Men think about these things quite often, I would say. Um, and to Lotus's point, she is. I think I'm agreeing with that more. That women don't handle it better than men because if you're an attractive female, you're not going to be told no often. So when you get told no, then you're going to start questioning and challenging the why. You know, not saying that all women do that, but that's probably what the case is for a few women out there. Um, but yeah, men, we live in. I don't want to generalize it, but like I feel like a lot of guys, and Fifth, you can attest to this if you want. I feel like we're anchored in reality, and if we're not anchored in reality, well, then reality makes us because reality holds us accountable, like up front. Not so much women. I think it affects women like long term, like in the back end, not the front end. I would say that.
Your turn, Mila.
I'm sorry. I'm over here. I'm going through a lot of pain right now. Um, I would say, I would say that, I would say that. I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating the question?
So Lotus's statement is that women, it affects rejection affects women more long term.
Mm-hmm.
And so, does anybody agree or disagree with that statement? And also, I asked
No, I
when.
agree.
Okay,
I agree because if I'm rejected by somebody, I would wonder why. Like, why was I rejected? I thought I was the one. I thought I was his type. Things like that. Is it me? Did my hair look right? All that plays a factor in that. So, yeah, I definitely agree.
okay, Lotus. Ask your question again.
Um, I'm sorry about earlier. I should have allowed your question to be exhausted before I asked another question.
It's fine.
um, so what I want to know is from the guys on the panel, because you built up this resistance from being rejected so much, and you're able just to, pull up your bootstraps and move on. Do you carry that into a relationship? And it's so because it could come off callous to women in a relationship. Like, okay, well, fine, you don't want to do this, it's fine. I ain't gonna try. Or I'm not saying that's what you guys do, but it's easy to carry that onto a relationship. Do you carry it, or is there a point when you let that resistance wall down?
Mm,
Mm,
if I go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like on average, a lot of people nowadays, like they don't heal on their own before getting into something with somebody else. So like on average, people are going to bring their baggage regardless to any relationship. You know, I did it, my fiance did it, everyone does it, you know. But over time, if you're with that person that like you can finally say you love them, like you feel that in your heart, it's not going to those walls will come down relatively fast. You know, like yes, I may have carried that resistance into what I have with my fiance for 5 years or 1 year, sorry, but it's not there anymore. You know, so like it just depends on like if you're willing to let the wall down for the one you're with. But for some, it might never go away because of you know how much you were rejected or what you went through in your past like relationships. I'd say that.
Well, I haven't been in a relationship since 2008, but when I did have a relationship, I can honestly say, as far as like carrying the aftermath of a rejection into the next night, I can say I never did that because I always kept in mind that the person I'm about to be in a relationship with was not the person who rejected me in the first place. So, and for the most part, I did give myself time. For the most part, not always, but for the most part, I gave myself time to work on myself and heal and give myself breathing room before incorporating someone else into that aspect of my life. So, you know, I'd say for the most part, I was careful and I still am, especially with the longevity of space I now have between my last relationship, basically 18 years ago, and whenever the next relationship will happen. I say for the most part I'm okay. I wouldn't bring that baggage.
All right, next man, Zacchaeus. You want to go answer that?
Yeah, no, I never experienced bringing old rejections into my relationship. Now I'm married for 24 years now, so I never did that. I never did that. Never experienced that. Bringing my old rejections and my old hurt into the next relationship. So no, that I can't relate to that. No, no.
Okay, well, I'll answer. I'll be transparent. I have definitely, because I'm still out in the dating field, I have definitely carried over um rejection in this sense, in terms of like thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like when the next, if I got rejected, right, and rejection comes in many forms. It's not just always the initial no, and I'll get to that further in the show. Where when the next one comes along, I'm kind of like second guessing her a little bit, making her kind of like prove a little more that she's even feeling me because I ain't trying to strike out like I did with the last one. You know what I'm saying? And so I definitely will admit that there have been times where I've definitely have, when being rejected, I have been affected um, with future women because my whole thing is, um, look, if I'm gonna put myself out there again, because putting yourself out there is allowing a level of vulnerability. So then now you're kind of like, okay, well, is this next one really? Is she really down for me? Because I would hate to do all of this, and then once again, here we go again. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and so it's kind of one of the things that men definitely go through and handle in different ways. So you have something, it develops kind of like a muscle memory. And when I say this, I'm not saying it's fair. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying you mistreat the next person. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, it could force some men to be a little gun shy. I don't know if I can even use the words GUN, but but if you know, y'all know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of just be a little hesitant, in terms of it's like a game of basketball, right? We call it the head fake, right? where you may have the shot, but you know you head fake because the last time you just made jump shots, you kept getting blocked. So now you're gonna head fake first, see if they go for it, then shoot the shot. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that, you know. And yeah, you could become guarded. Women definitely through their experience when they go through breakups, they become guarded. Men become guarded as well, but you know, definitely, you know what I'm saying. Um, I'm gonna shorten my answer only because I want DC King to get up in here. Um, hey brother, welcome back, man. How you doing?
All right, how you doing, brother?
Good, good. Hey, let me you have a long name. What do you want me to refer you to so that it's
You can just DC King. I mean, that's it. I mean, but
okay.
SOYP means standing on your purpose.
Okay, Soy P,
Yeah, that's standing on your purpose.
stand on your purpose. I actually like that. Okay, well I'll try my best to refer to you what you know whatever you like because I usually just call you DC King. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm cool with that.
That's what's up. Hey, brother. The question you've been here before. You know the rules. So the question is, who handles rejection better, men or women? And after you answer that,
Hmm.
I know you've kind of heard a little bit of what we said after that. You can
Yeah.
respond also to that as well, as far as what I mentioned, what Lotus's question was about. Do you bring those feelings of rejection, those effects into the next person? Go ahead. You can answer everything.
Okay. Well, I would say men handle rejection a little better. Uh, due to my reasons is as we know how to bounce back. You know what I mean? I mean, most men do. They know how to bounce back. Because men really don't get that emotional, unless you know they. I don't know. I never have, and I never brought trauma to another relationship. Uh, due to the fact that's going to fall apart real quick. And when the topic is brought up about how did your last relationship go, I'll mention I don't like to indulge in that. That's past. Let me get to know you. I want to know you. Let's not talk about my past because that's in the past. I'm moving forward. So let's talk about you and I right now. That's the prime factor right there. And it's not about being biased or just passing it off. No, I'm moving on myself, and again, not bringing that baggage with me, right? If I don't want to bring that baggage with me, there's no need to even bring it up because you bring it up, that's opening a can of worms that you don't want to have open. You know what I mean?
So I have a question, Fifth, before you say anything.
Go ahead.
Um, how can you start a new relationship without um mentioning your past? How would the next person know how to treat you or
Because
respect you without
be-
mentioning your past?
because one, I'm gonna go by how you move. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go by how you move because my past doesn't dictate how you're gonna treat me. You understand what I'm saying? And it's no point to relive that trauma. Why would I want to talk about something that traumatized me?
No, it's not. It's not about reliving it. It's, hey, I've been through this. I don't want to go through it again. You
That
know,
is,
as a warning sign, so the next person that you're talking to would know. Oh, this is a sensitive subject. Let me not do this. Not
no,
saying
but
all women are sensitive to that situation, but
hmm
it's always nice to know what's sensitive from another person's perspective, because if you get into it with that person and they say something that was previously said, then it's gonna egg on to something else, and then you're gonna be trying to figure out, like, dang, why is it this way?
that's why my opening statements when I'm meeting a person, a woman, you know, what is your ideal relationship? What do you consider a relation, a real? uh healthy relationship? What do you consider a healthy mate? Um, these are questions. What qualities and characteristics are you looking for that out of that mate? These are the questions I ask because I want to know how this woman is thinking.
Okay.
And if she can't give me a straightforward answer from those questions, because these are good questions to ask a person before you jump into a relationship. If you can't give me adult, mature questions, I already know you're not qualified for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I won't even entertain you no longer. I was like, well, I'll friend zone you, pretty much, but that's about it. Because you're not on my level. If you can't answer adult questions, like where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? What do you want to do in the next 5 years, or what do you want to do now? These are questions that you ask a mate that you want to know that, okay, if this person is saying got all these answers, all these questions, they moving like they supposed to be moving, I may consider this person as my mate. And that's why you go on dates, you talk about things. You may go into a little discussion about how your last relationship was, but it's no point to go really that deep. Just me just saying it was just a toxic matter. I got myself out of it, and I just want somebody that's going to give me peace and understanding. That's all I'm looking for in a mate, and respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I just had that one question.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I land.
Hey, it's open discussion. Y'all. If y'all got anything else, y'all can go ahead and talk before I get into my next part.
I'm sorry, Fifth. I gotta move this truck, so I know I gotta get out here and roll these wheels. So I really appreciate it. I see you have a YouTube. I'm gonna go over there and subscribe to it and do all the things and support you. Thank you so much for the topics and your wisdom and bringing great people on the panel.
It was nice to meet you, Miss Lotus. Even though I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
You too,
Thank you,
brother.
Lotus. You're
Yes,
always
sir.
welcome to come back. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Lotus. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Lotus. Nice meeting you. Okay, so um, the men on the panel, because it's not women up here to answer. I know Lotus is up here, but she's working. Um, say if the roles were reversed and a woman was, not hurt by her past, but you was, how would y'all deal with a hurt woman in the sense of starting a new relationship?
First, before I get into anything with her, and
Okay.
I know she's been hurt and damaged. I'm going to I'm gonna say, sweetheart, before we get any further, before this even goes any further, I would suggest that you get some counseling. Have get someone that's going to teach you coping skills. Someone, a professional outlet you can go talk to whenever something is bothering you, or to get you through whatever's damaged you. Because if you're already damaged and you come into a new relationship, it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse because you haven't repaired what's been damaged. So pretty much you're gonna have this thought in the back of your head. Okay, this dude is a low down dirty dog. What if he cheat on me, just like the other one did? All men are pigs. You know what I mean? These are the things that we hear. We hear this, and when it comes down to men, we get hurt. We we console each other. You know what I'm saying? We talk to each other,
Right. We uplift
and,
each
and,
other.
and
Yeah.
we have a connection. And the fellas have a connection when we have something bothering us. We get positive advice to each other,
Right.
not negative.
Mm-hmm.
Not negative. We try to encourage each other. Hey man, there's something better out there, brother. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat this. Just move forward, bro. Work through it. You know what I'm saying? We give each other positive instead of saying, "Oh man, F that broad, man. You got shorty up the street. Go knock on her door and clap them cheeks."
Yeah,
You know, we don't do things like that. But
that's right.
the modern day woman, the average woman would say, "Girl, go find you somebody else. He ain't no good." Instead of saying, "Why don't you try to work it out with him?" Well, what happened? They don't try to, see who's accountable in the situation. Because men and women have to hold themselves accountable when it comes to a relationship. You
Yeah.
can't always blame me. You can't always place blame on the opposite sex. Someone, someone has to take fault. Someone has to say, "Okay, I was wrong.
Mhm.
I admit to my wrongdoing." But is that happening now? No, it's not. And that's on both sides. I'm gonna keep it a buck. And I line.
Due to a delusional sense of entitlement, which can occur while with either gender.
Yeah.
Because if accountability is not a, whether it be a weak suit or a strong suit, if that's not even a suit or a factor, there is no growth. there
Right.
won't be any there won't be any mutual positivity if
Mm-hmm.
one or both is not going to be accountable. And if the accountability is only one-sided, because even when you're passive aggressive, that is a fault that can contribute to problems in a relationship. So
Yep.
if there's only one side that shows accountability, then the relationship won't be prosperous. It'll still be a disaster.
It'll
They
fail.
have to come that you have they have to come together and both mutually speak and admit of what they can do better, how they can grow. And the problem is, too many people, they don't talk about the internal characteristics. They don't talk about the mind. They don't talk about how can we both mutually achieve peace, because let's face facts here, not many people who get in relationships or marriage, they don't consider peace or treating people the way they would want to be treated as factors. How often do you hear about character in this day and age? How often do you hear about, growth, mutuality, and all that?
You know.
Lately, it's been one side. That's my point. Thank you. So lately, it's been one sided. And the thing is, we all know that love is a risk.
Yep.
There's always that chance that disasters will happen. But the thing is, you don't go into it blind, but you don't go into it with a negative preconception either.
That's right.
So if you go to these things with a negative preconception, yeah, then you need work and you need to vet on yourself before you think you have what it takes to vet the other person. You need space, you need breathing room, and before you even consider yourself able to properly date and vet.
And to piggyback off you, Ultram, lovely Miss Lovely, let me ask you a question. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now you're a woman, so I'm gonna ask you because you're a woman. Now, women say they want providers, right? They want
Yeah.
their man to be a provider, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you consider provision besides financial? Besides the financial aspect, what is provision for you?
Someone that's loving, someone that's caring, someone that's careful, respectful, things of that nature. Like I said before on the panel, I don't know if this might be your first time over here, but I'm not in the business for, oh, he got a job, he making $600,000 a year.
Oh, I
That
know
has
you, Miss
nothing to
Lovely.
do with me.
I know you, Miss Lovely, very well.
I don't
You
I
was in
don't
here,
care for the money aspect of a relationship because the money don't make the man.
and that's another thing I be trying to explain to women. Okay, so what if the man gets hurt and he's the only sole provider?
Well, at one
What
point in
did
time,
what did
my
the man
husband
get?
was hurt, and he was the sole provider, and I had to step up and do what I had to do.
And that's the point I'm trying to get these younger women to understand, but they don't understand that. What if the man gets sick, hurt, or unalive? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
And
it.
this man has been your sole provider. Take care of you. You ain't been doing a damn thing but sitting on your butt, your tush, collecting. You know what I'm saying? Then what? But the crazy thing is, I hear from women, well, I'll go to another dude that can take care of me.
I got
What?
it.
You
Yeah,
know? And that's crazy. That's crazy.
yeah, because some women are used to, oh, if he ain't got it or if he get hurt, I'm gonna run to the next person. And that's how I think. If they can run to the next person that fast, it's because they was talking to the next person already. They
And
were
like I
making plans to leave the person they was with previously.
and, and I and I ask these women, their expectations is so high. They want a man that's got like six figures, but they don't have nothing to themselves, to their name. You know, or they make three figures. How you gonna ask a man? How you gonna say you want a man that makes six figures and you don't make the same amount he is or close? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The expectation is so unrealistic these days with these women. It's ridiculous.
There's no sense of entitlement. I told you.
Yeah, and and it's like they're so privileged and so spoiled because their parents did raise them that way.
No, their parents did raise them that way.
You
It's
don't think so?
definitely, it's definitely the way that they was raised, one
And
hundred
the
percent.
environment.
Because I'm not gonna lie to you. I was raised in the YT household, okay,
Uh huh.
um, and I was raised to where I was always told, oh, the man has to do this and the man has to do that. You are supposed to be a stay-at-home parent if you become a parent. That's not. I was a stay-at-home parent at one point. My husband did always tell me I didn't have to work, but I like to work.
But now this generation now don't want to work. They don't want to work. They feel like my man said the entitlement. They feel that a man's job is to take care of them while they do nothing.
Yeah, no, it don't work like that.
Exactly. And
Not in this day and age. It don't work like
but
that.
my
Back
thing is,
then, it probably could have worked like that. It did work like that, but now
Is
it
it
don't.
but see, this
easy?
is the thing.
Easy? Oh, go ahead.
This the thing though. These young women of today, they're looking back of how economy was back then when their grandparents were younger and in relationships. Yeah, it was easy for a guy to take care of a woman back then because the economy wasn't that expensive as it is today. It takes two to raise a household now, and they think a man is supposed to just take care of all the bills, take care of her bills, his bills. No, it don't work like that.
Well, it does if he a simp, it will work.
Yeah, if he's a
Because
simp,
because the simp has little to no self respect.
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
But when you say this to women, they say, "Oh, you just say that because you broke." No, I'm not invested in someone that I know that's not gonna be there for me.
Well,
Yeah,
Really.
exactly.
okay, so I'm glad you said that. A lot of people, like, I used to have a lot of associates, and I stopped talking to them because they'd be like, "Oh, we went to the bar and this dude didn't buy me a drink. He broke." And then as soon as he pull out his wallet and his money falling all over the place, you want to be all on his back for what? You
Right.
just told this man he was broke to his face.
Yep.
Right.
Who are you to determine if a man is broke or not? Maybe he got priorities and don't want to spend his money on you.
And see, that's the
Maybe he waiting
thing.
on somebody else to come here and meet him here. You
And see,
don't
that's
even know nobody's situation, but you judging them already. That's
but
why a
see,
lot of women don't get the chances that they want in life because they always down in the man. I always say on this panel, I don't care if a female tell me I'm wrong about anything. 9 times out of 10, a woman is always the wrong person. And 15% of women cheat more than men. I'm always going to say that.
You tell these women that they ain't gonna they'll argue you down and tell
Oh
you no,
yes.
it's the men. It's the men that's doing this. The men is trash and the men is this and the men is that. It's so many hateful groups towards our culture men.
Hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like and women say black men don't love black women no more. Yes, we do. We just don't like the way you carry yourselves.
Right.
I
But
mean,
I don't
come
like the
on.
way
Every
the
time
women
you go
treat y'all.
online, every time you go
Facts.
online, every
Facts.
time you
Yeah.
go online, you got a woman
It's
twerking,
true.
showing her ass or something like that. You just doing
Yeah.
this shit for clicks and likes, shorty.
Yeah.
You want attention. You an
Mm-hmm.
attention seeker.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, that in my eyes, you are an attention seeker.
Let
And
me
you're
let
looking for
me
someone. You're looking for someone that's desperate enough to kick out some cash to, to get some ass.
let me interject because I just want to make sure the conversation's on point. So, rejection comes in many forms, right? So, you mentioned the whole finances thing, right? There are men who may get the foot in the door with their looks, but as soon as she finds out what he makes, you know, he
Over
gets
with.
Yeah.
rejected. Or on the woman's side, he likes the way she looks, but then he finds out she got kids. What
Yep.
do y'all say to that?
Well, I don't care who it is. Like, I can go outside today and somebody might try to talk to me. And first thing that come out of my mouth, I'm married and I got 3 kids.
Okay.
I'm not holding that back for nobody. I don't care. My best friend be like, why is that the first thing you always say? Because I don't want nobody to get their hopes up high. I don't want nobody to feel like, oh, I got her in the bag. I can do this. I can say this. And I'm going to get her number. That's not the case. I'm married. I got 3 kids. And
I
I
think
got bills.
I think that's smart. I think that's wise, and I think that you doing that, it saves time, so that time ain't wasted. So I commend you on that.
Yeah, but a lot of women don't do that.
Yeah, because see, women expect us to play stepdaddy, and they say this the total package. No, 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 sweetheart. I'm not dating your kids. I'm dating you. So therefore, you need to get in your baby daddy's ear and tell him, hey, he need to handle his business as a daddy.
Time
Take
out.
care of
Wait.
his kid, his responsibility. Because
Time out.
some of us
Flag on
men
the
out
play.
here have kids too.
Flag on the play. Wait a
No, no, no,
minute.
no, no, no. What I mean, and hear me out before you say flag on the play. Some of us men have kids too. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And we have responsibilities as well. So my job is you telling me I'm supposed to take care of your kids and say screw my kids? That ain't happening. My kids, my bills, my priorities come before any female on this earth. And that's a
I get
fact.
it. I get it. And vice versa. I feel the same way. But if you were to enter a relationship with a woman that has kids,
But don't have the expectation that I'm going to take care of your kids. That's what these women are doing. They're expecting us to do this. They're telling us that's your
I
job
don't
as a man.
okay, so
Well, I
No,
know
it's
some
some
not.
women
women
say
don't
that there's a full package when you take me as the full
yeah.
package. They always say
Uh-huh.
that. Yeah.
Yep, they sure do.
So would you be willing to accept the full package? Because I don't know
I'm gonna
no
tell you like this.
woman
I wouldn't have a
that
problem.
has entered a relationship with a man that did not accept her kids,
Hold up.
even though the
I'm not,
father is active in their kid's life.
but I'm saying for the ones that's not active, you know, that's because a lot of strain on that man because he has to take care of his kids, yet alone somebody else's bastard kids. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't mean to say it like that, but a fatherless child is called a bastard in the Bible. That's what
Yeah.
it's called. So I'm going to give it to you real. I'm going to give it to you raw, and I'm going to give it to you correct. So in the same breath, I'm not taking care of somebody's bastard child and you're not putting forth the effort to stay on his ass to make sure he's taking care of his bastard child. You follow me? Because at that point, you're just pretty much saying, okay, he can have a free ride, but he's got to pay. No, it's not working like that, baby.
Well, let me bring this full circle. So the reason why I brought that up is because, like I just said earlier, rejection could come in many forms. So rejection could come down the line. So, fellas, if a woman puts you in the friend zone, doesn't that count as rejection as well?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, yeah, of course. It's just that in the earlier stages of my life, of course, I didn't know how to handle it because I didn't have that structure on how. And with time, I learned that in a lot of cases, being put in the friend zone was kind of safe because when you look at who a lot of women may have friend zoned you for, you realize you are not incompatible with those chicks anyway. So it's
Fact.
kind of good they kept you in the friend zone, but you have to learn that as you live.
It's a
You
blessing
ain't
and a
gonna,
curse.
yeah, exactly. You ain't gonna get it at first because at first, when you don't have that advice, you're thinking, is something wrong with me? Why I keep getting friend zone? Let me tell you, a lot of people who friend zone me, they did me a favor.
Yep,
That's why I still have the little bit of sanity I have left, so to speak. All right?
that's right.
Thank you.
But again, I wouldn't have no problem if I'm involved with a woman that has children. I'm not a jerk. I'm the kind of guy that's saying, okay, we together, we in this together. If you with me, you with me. I'm here to take care of you and our family. I'm gonna look at it as our family. You know what I'm saying? But when you start to move funny, and I start to notice things differently, then that's when I start to move differently. I move accordingly. I move accordingly.
Hey, Mila. So
Yeah.
since you're the only woman on the panel, once again, rejection comes in many forms. You know what else? You know what else is rejection? When a woman gets with a guy and he gets to clap cheeks on the first night, second night, third night. You wanted a relationship, he didn't, and then he ghosts you. That's rejection too, don't you
Yeah,
think?
I
You can
do.
speak
I
to
agree
that.
wholeheartedly. Um, okay, so I'm gonna say previously because I've been married for 13 years. Um, when I first met my husband, way before we got married, he was that person that rejected me. Okay, and I'm not saying like, hey, Mona, and like we done did everything under the sun. And then as soon as I was like, okay, I'm ready to move on. I don't care no more. He don't matter. He came back. I don't know what made him come back full circle, full force, none of that, but he came back. So rejection is like it's not a good feeling. It is possibly the worst feeling in the world for men and women. And me, quite frankly, I wouldn't want nobody to go through that, honestly. But it happens daily.
Yeah, you could also so for those who are in the chat, I need more women to join the panel for balance, all right? So you could also speak to how you see it with other women. I'm pretty sure you've had friends, family members, you don't have to name any names, who have definitely been ghosted after a man has gotten the drawers. And that is a form of rejection at that moment. I think we get so caught up in the initial no, but that is rejection as well.
Yeah, so okay, one of my best friends was talking to this guy, and like he randomly just started moving his stuff in with her, and like before she knew it, he had a whole closet full of clothes. And but he was never there. He'd come over there, they'd do their little 1-2, and then he'd be gone for like 2-3 weeks. And I just be like, I be wanting to tell her like, it's certain things that you can say to a friend, and there's certain things that you can't say to a friend.
She just a
Not
booty
wanting to.
call.
I want exactly.
That's all. She just
I
a booty
wanted to
call.
tell her that so bad, but she
Tell
was so
her.
madly in love with this
No,
boy,
I'm gonna tell you, if you're a real
and
friend to her, if you're a real friend, you'll be honest with her. You'll tell her the truth.
I've been honest with her before, and it caused the break in our friendship.
Hey,
My
sometimes
honesty turned
sometimes the
to her
truth,
feelings. I
sometimes
don't
the
know
truth will
why,
hurt.
but
Sometimes the truth will hurt, sweetheart. I mean, you gotta be. I mean, that I'm like that with my friends. You know what I'm saying? If I see something wild going on, I'm upfront. I'm honest with them. I tell them how I
but you want to
feel.
know the crazy part about it? He left all his clothes and went on with another woman and rebought
Wow.
everything all over again. He didn't even
Wow.
come
Sheesh.
back for nothing. He left there. He didn't
Wow.
even tell her he was
Damn.
leaving. He just left.
Wow.
Wow. Never crazy case.
That's crazy.
So just imagine you in Chicago and he going to Rockford every day, and
Damn.
every time he come see you, he going back to Rockford, and you don't know what he doing. He not answering the phone. He not doing nothing. The whole time he building a house for somebody else.
Sheesh. That's crazy.
And those
He
are
ain't come
the
back for nothing but his car. That's it.
well, and those are
That,
the guys that get the most longevity. That's why a lot of times, not all the time, because I ain't that heartless, but a lot of times when women go through that, I think it's a bad thing, but I don't feel full blast sorry for them because throughout these past few decades, we see how the babyface men get stomped on and called boring when they're doing right, and you have these bastard men, whether they're convicts or not, whether they're players, gigolos, or what have you, they get all this devotion and longevity. So it's not to say I think it was good for your friend, but because of this devotion she showed him without showing more devotion to herself and her worth, she kind of asked for it.
yep. But the crazy thing is, this is what I hear all the time, and it kind of it's like a walking contradiction. When women say they want a man to be honest with them, but when a man is honest with them, they tell them the truth. Then they get mad when they tell the truth.
Uh huh.
I'm like, so
Yeah, it's
what
true.
do
Yeah.
you want us to lie to you, or what do you want us you? Because you got us confused now. I mean, you want us to be
Mm.
honest with you, but then you want us to lie to you. Make it make sense.
I ask everybody, just tell the truth. If I mess up somewhere, tell me. If you think it's a lie, ask me to prove it. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna prove it. I don't I don't care what nobody say. I'm gonna prove it.
I know
Because
that's right.
I'm not gonna lie to you because I don't want to be lied to. I'm not gonna lie on you because I don't want you to lie on me.
I feel you.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? You could sadly warn a friend, and then just because you're being helpful, you come out the bad guy in that situation. So a lot of times you're like, well, shoot, I might as well not even say anything, because you have situations like that. Because people are going to be wrapped up in their decisions. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. Or that's what they're going to do, regardless.
Yeah, and that's why I was at a point in time with my friend. At that point, I
I
was
was
like,
at
well,
a point in time with my friend at the
she gonna talk to who she want to talk to. She gonna fall in love with this man, that man, and the next man, and she gonna continue to get hurt until she stop looking.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as she stopped looking, somebody found her, and now they married.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how it always happens. Those are the time it's happened. See, when you learn to appreciate yourself and learn your self worth, and build yourself up first, and learn to love yourself, then everything. Then you learn what to throw to the ocean, and what to throw to the ocean, and what you not will accept and what you will not accept. It's all about your self worth, self worth and self respect. Yeah.
Yeah, cause
That's-
I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I didn't care. I didn't have a care in the world for who respected me as long as I respected myself. But as I got older, I was like, if I'm the only one respecting me, if I ever get into a relationship, no one's gonna take me serious.
Now, Mila, you had a question about dealing with hurt women, right?
Yeah, why? Yeah, my question was why. It was for the men though. Why do men think? Why do the men on the panel think that hurt women take their frustrations out on them coming into a new relationship?
Well,
How they present themselves.
Exactly.
yeah, go ahead, Ultra. You about to say
Because
something?
yeah, fine. Because where that comes from is not delusion on our part. Because what happens is I talked earlier about the delusional sense of entitlement, and I also talk about I didn't talk about it on this panel. I'm about to mention it right now. I see a lot of women who have an unprovoked attitude with for no reason. It's like they're just bitter. And it didn't come from the person they're currently, engaging dialogue with, having dates with, or anything, but they go from 0 to 100 with the quickness. So our sense that they're bitter because of the past. It's not a delusion on our part. It's how they present themselves. If you're a woman and you present yourself having an attitude, whereas you're quick to argue or you're quick to just yell and be angry without seeking clarity of what the person is telling you, then that's a problem. And that's not, again, I keep repeating myself, that's not a delusion on our part. It's what we clearly see that's being presented to us by said woman.
Yeah, that's true.
And then on top of that, you have women that don't want to listen. They want to lead instead of being led. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So the Bible states that the man is supposed to lead the household. But
Hmm.
you have masculine women that don't think that a man can run a household or lead the household. They think of us as incapable or what's the word?
Simps.
Give me 1 minute. Fifth, I'm finna switch phones right quick. You gonna add me back to the panel?
Yes, ma'am.
But it's just ridiculous. I mean, you got a man that's actually telling you what you should do or advise you what you should do or you shouldn't do. But in the same breath, they think you're being controlling. Do y'all agree?
Exactly. Because as I said,
Yes.
it's like there have been many situations where that baby face mate is telling them the right thing, and it goes against her own mental narrative. Whereas you have a person who continues to agree with her and celebrate her, leading her in the wrong path.
You
You
low.
know, yeah, yeah,
Ultram,
what
think your microphone covered.
it is.
Yeah, it was at the
Can you hear me
moment.
now?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was saying that when a man is telling the woman, or when her own friends are saying you're doing the right thing because they're afraid of how she'll react when she's being constructively criticized or constructively corrected. Again, that's the problem on that woman's part. You know,
And let me ask everybody in the panel this question: why is it when a man has standards and boundaries, he's considered sassy or toxic?
Because a woman don't know how to accept it. They don't.
Well, also, there's how many women have had examples in their household of a man who stands on principle with standards, morals, and ethics.
very rare.
That's also plays a factor too.
Yeah, it's only very little though.
Yeah, very rare.
Because when it was I was in a panel, right, and I had a conversation with a group of ladies on there. I said, yeah, I have two girls, I have two daughters, right.
Mhm.
My oldest, she lives on her own. She works two jobs. She pays her own bills. She paid for her own truck, her own place. And it was like, I don't know what's wrong with her. I was like, what you mean? She is a grown adult. She's doing what adults do, take care of themselves. I taught my daughters never to depend on a man. Be independent. Because when you start to depend on a man, when you depend on the man to do everything for you, that man has control over you. And I said, if I'm doing everything for you, I'm gonna treat you like a child. When I tell you jump, you say how high. When I tell you sit down and piss, you sit down and piss because I'm taking care of your ass.
Whoa, language.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm taking care of you. If I'm taking care of you like I'm taking care of my child, you don't have no say. Not in my house.
Yeah, I agree with that. Independence and standing up for yourself and being independent and not letting nobody take care of you in every aspect of the word take care. That's important to set yourself together, build yourself up mentally, spiritually, physically. Yes, that's those factors are important.
Well, there's the term interdependent, which is actually better once you're in the mode of being married. I think what happens is you become interdependent, meaning it's a togetherness. You're not necessarily to yourself. When you're single, you have no choice, right? But once you get into a mode of going to marriage, you become what we call interdependent. Zacchaeus, you're a married man, you know.
Oh yes.
Hey, Fifth.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me ask you this. All right. I'm gonna piggyback on what you just said, right? And I'm gonna say this. Why is it that when a woman is single, right, she can take care of herself. But as soon as she get in a relationship, she forgets all about that and thinks that, oh, I got a man now. It's his job. No, you keep doing what
You
you're
just
supposed to
answered your
do.
own question. You literally just answered your own question.
I mean, it just don't make sense. I mean, why? Why?
But
I just
because
don't.
because you just answered your own question. She feel like she got a man and he can take care of her. He got a
Thing
job.
is, why does
What
that
more does she
mentality
need to
exist?
do?
Where did the independence go?
Exactly. That's what I'm
It
saying.
it went out the window. Women who had okay, so I call it fake independence. Okay.
Right.
I don't care what nobody says. It's fake independence. You putting on the facade like, oh, I got this job and I've been doing this and but I don't really need it. But as soon as that man come along and he be like, oh, we've been dating for 6 months. You gonna move in with me? We gonna be together, and we gonna work together. To make sure everything is straight in the house. And she be like, oh no, you working? You got the job. You make more. Like no, it's not always up to the man to take care of every little bitty thing. Like men have certain jobs to do. Women have certain jobs to do. I don't care what the situation is. If you quit your job when you get into a relationship because a man makes more money than you, you're crazy.
Hey, Fifth, did we was this your panel when we had this
I
conversation about
agree.
what was this your panel when we had a discussion about when a man has his own place and when he brings her in his place, he don't ask for anything, but when a woman invites a man to stay with her, then he
He
has to
asked
come
for
out of pocket.
everything.
He has to pay for everything. Why is
Yeah,
that? Why does
that's
that?
not
That
fair.
doesn't even make
That's not
sense.
fair. It's not fair. I'm sorry. I know you asked fifth, but it's not fair to the man because before I came in your house, you was paying all these bills by yourself.
It was
Now
it's also mind boggling.
everything should be 50-50 at this point.
It's mind
If
boggling when you hear
they
ladies say,
decide to go 50-50.
it's mind boggling when you hear women say, well, I've seen videos like this where she says, well, he can't pay for my hair, you can't pay for my nails, we can't date if you can't pay for my hair and nails.
Right.
I'm like saying that, well, who paid you for your nails and hair before?
But hold on, Zach, check this out. I'm about to piggyback off that one. Now,
Okay,
when you're dating, right?
yeah,
Your job is to make sure you maintain yourself, right? You keep yourself up, right?
right.
Okay, so isn't that a woman's job too to maintain herself and keep herself up? If she wants to be, uh, 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 if she wants to be, what's the word I'm looking for? She wants to be successful in the dating world.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Yes,
why is it the man's job to make sure she's kept up and that's her job?
right.
Make that make sense to me. I mean, I'm trying to understand that.
Okay, so I used to be big on getting my hair and nails done, and trying to keep up with everybody and everything under the sun. No, is it worth it at the end of the day? For me, no, because at the end of the day, you still gotta go home, or you still gotta go to work. You still gotta put in work at home. You still gotta do your wifely duties or your motherly duties. You gotta take care of your husband, your boyfriend, or whatever the case may be. Make sure the house clean, all this. So getting your nails done, it don't do nothing for for me personally, because I can care less, and I ain't got no hair. I cut my hair off, so I can
And to
care
interject,
less.
But
when was the
see,
last time you heard about a man asking a woman to pay for his haircut, his suit,
not
his
never,
A man
metrosexualness?
would never
not
ask a
never.
woman to pay for it
Oh,
unless she is comfortable with doing it. And I'm not saying every relationship is like that because you have some relationships that's 50-50, and a woman don't have a problem with paying for a man to get a facial and a haircut and make sure he keep his hands, his nails clean and his feet done and stuff like that. Because some men like to be pampered too, and I get that. But just for a woman to do it repeatedly every month is insane to me because you don't think about your significant other.
I'm gonna be straight up. I have no problem. I mean, if a woman's making her own money, obviously, I have no problem with a woman doing self care because I actually like that. Right, I have no problem with that. But I get the point that Soy P's trying to get to. Where he's trying to, what I'm hoping he's saying is that when a woman has things going for her life already financially, then she gets with a man who's, he's doing pretty well himself, that she no longer comes out of her pocket, her own pocket. Is that where you're going with that, Sweet Pea?
Exactly, exactly.
That's what he
That's
said.
that's exactly where I'm coming at.
Okay, so, and then Mila said that that was fake independence.
Yeah, because why come off to this man is, oh, I take care of myself, I'm doing this, I got all this in the bag, and then as soon as y'all get into a relationship is, oh no, I need you to do everything 100%. I'm gonna quit my
Honestly,
job and you gonna do it.
honestly, it's like this. This is just my opinion, especially women who are doing well for themselves. You get when even in the relationship phase before it even gets to marriage, a woman who's really feeling you will come out of her wallet for you. I
Right.
don't mean your bills, but I just mean every now and then she may pay for a date, buy you some gifts. She might buy you some, your favorite cologne or something that she likes to smell you in. She might pay for she you might pay for the meal and she may cover the tip. there are going to be ways that a woman who's really feeling you, at times, will come out of her wallet for you. Well, she'll do other things as well, especially if you have been pretty much doing most of everything, taking care of everything, right? She knows it's reciprocation. It doesn't necessarily got to be the same. It doesn't have to be dollar for dollar per se
Right.
in terms of the actual price tag. But a woman who's feeling you is going to do for you just like you do for her. And even a woman with no job, because I don't know if anybody, I'm pretty sure, fellas, at some point, you dated a woman with no job, Even they reciprocate in the capacity that they can.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So it's all about the person, the intention, uh,
How they
and
was
stuff like
raised.
that. Mila, you had a question?
No, I didn't have a question. I was gonna reply to when you was mentioning the thing about the part about no job.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I didn't I didn't work. Well, my husband didn't want me to work the first 2.5, 3 years we were married because we had a child. And I get it. You want me to stay home with the baby, you truck driving and all this. But, he was out here in these streets doing what street men do. And he was a thug dealer, okay? I
Okay.
had I had to make it work. So he didn't want me to watch what he was doing, but I was watching what he was doing. And I learned the method and I did exactly what he was doing while he was gone. Because bills don't stop when you over the road. You still
That's
get them.
right. So you pretty
So
much
I've
study.
learned to do that and take care of my child. Now, when she got like kindergarten, preschool age, I stopped because that's not something that I would want our child to see.
Right.
So I I was ain't no such thing as a woman not having nothing to do or nothing to bring to the table. It's always something to do and bring to the table.
Well, mostly these women is bringing to the table is just themselves in a box. That's it.
And this, but is it worth it though?
No.
Well, let me respond to that. So, because there are so many men that only have that as a criteria as well.
That's
So
true.
we've had so many men, generations before us, the current generation now, because each one teach one, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only criteria that a lot of us men, we have to admit that we have. We really don't require we really don't require like we should. But then I would also say that those are men who are really not serious anyway.
Right.
So here's what happens. When a woman comes into play, knowing that all she has to do is give that, and she's been used to giving that, and that's what's been accepted, transactional, then that is a behavior, that's a muscle memory that she develops. Now let's talk about the man. If a man is so used to simping and tricking, and he feels that has worked for him, that's a muscle memory that he has that he would always extend.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You
real.
know?
I agree.
Anybody want to speak to that?
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
You got a person in the chat that's trying to catch up on what we talking about.
Whoever that person is, Uh, the topic is in the graphic. Who handles rejection better, men or women? But we need more women to join the panel to balance out the conversation. And since we've had the same four people on the panel for a while, we are tending to move the conversation along in other areas, but still sticking to the topic because I do have still some bullet points, some questions into the rejection part. All right. Yeah, I can go ahead and open discussion. I was just kind of like throwing something out there.
Okay. So, you can go ahead.
Oh, yes. It's a heavy discussion now. Very good topic to talk about. Rejection and being able to handle rejection. Very, very good topic to talk about. It's not really much talked about much, but it's a need, and maybe many people could get into the conversation as well. Because there's a lot. It's something that's really not talked about so much. So I think it's a good topic to really like expound on. Yeah.
Well, man, Zacchaeus, we have our podcast together, and
Oh yes. Oh yes.
that,
Yeah.
that we've been running for several years since 2017. So we've had kind of like topics about this and similar to this,
Yeah.
and yeah, we talk about how rejection. I said in the past that rejection comes in stages. So
Hmm.
rejection is not just do you want to go out on a date, yes or no. Rejection can happen in a marriage,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, rejection of finances, rejection of, marital intercourse. That's
Yes.
rejection.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, you
Oh
want to
yeah.
speak to that, Zacchaeus?
Yes. That's a good thing. That's a good thing you brought up too, because just because you're married doesn't mean that it's better roses. And they do have some rejections in marriage as well. When it comes to, well, because they have people that's married that they don't pull their resources together, and there's a competition within the marriage as well. And I do have some people that are married that also, you heard this, they haven't had they haven't had relations in like 2 years. I'll be hearing that you go to you watched um divorce court, with the Cutlers, or you watch any of those shows, you see, oh well, I haven't been intimate with my spouse for 2, 3, 4 years. And there's people that live like that. And it's not because you've been with that person for 30 years, 20 years, it's all bed of roses. There's some shortcomings. There could be like a lack of there's a quantity, but a lack of quality within the marriage itself. And that's so yes, they do have rejections in the marriage as well. They do. They certainly do.
You'd be amazed how many people are lonely or feel alone when they're coupled up or in a marriage or a simple relationship, and that's worse than being actually solo.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. For sure.
I got a question for the panel. Now, let's say you married, right? And your spouse decides not to, engage in sexual relations with you and has been holding out.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, ladies, for the ladies on the panel or the ladies that's in the chat, is it wrong if a man steps out of his marriage because of her not um committing to her vow to her mate by fulfilling his needs?
Mila,
Well,
you're the only woman on the panel, but
I'm
go
just,
ahead, Mila.
I know. That's why I said, well, I'm going to be the only one to answer this. I just went through that. But I didn't go through it because I wanted to. I went through it because I physically couldn't do it. And it wasn't like, oh, my body wasn't working. It's because my mental was not in that capacity of thinking, oh, this is my husband. We should be intimate. I literally went through that for 2 whole years. Was he mad at me? Probably. Did we talk about it? No, because he's not the person to talk about things like that. He's not a soft person, I would say. He's not a feelings type of person. I don't know what was going through my head, and I feel like ever since I had our last child, my mind has not been in the space of where I needed to be intimate with my husband. Did it backfire? Yeah, it did. Is it my fault? Yes, it is, because I could have been open and honest with him. I could have went somewhere and talked to somebody. I could have went and seen somebody. And am I okay with what he did in the past? it's fine because I know what I did and I know what my duties were. So I didn't have the void to be intimate with him when he wanted me to, as much as we usually do. So it's it's different things for different people. Some women hold out because, oh, he not doing this and he not doing that, so he not gonna get this.
But my
That was
question
the
is,
case.
is the man at fault?
No, I said
Okay.
that
All right.
because if a woman was to do her wifely duties and please her husband, then they wouldn't be going through what they're going through.
Okay. I'm glad somebody else is on that same level.
I
That's
told you
fair.
I don't sugarcoat nothing. I'm not gonna lie on this panel. I'm
That's
not
fair.
going to sit
Very.
here and be like, oh no, women are peaches and cream and we don't do nothing wrong and we don't say nothing wrong. Like I said,
Because
uh,
I've been through that. I've been put
and
through that when I
like I
ended my
said
marriage. So
previously, when Yard Chat and Fifth was on here together, 15% of women more cheat on men than men do on women.
yeah.
I don't care how nobody put it, it happens.
Mhm.
And when I tell you, I literally worked for CPS for 2.5 years. I seen this one lady, her husband dropped her off every morning, but a different man bought her lunch every day.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
And she was
This
Wow.
is
going
why I
home.
say what I say. I don't say it to put women down. I say it because I see it.
Yeah.
And they know how to do it too, quietly.
And they take it as a flex.
And
Yeah.
it's not because if you get something, then you take it back to your husband and he ain't outside doing nothing. You're going to be trying to figure out, well, how do I tell this man it was me?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
See that's the thing with this transactional lifestyle we're facing right now with women and men. You know, there's a transactional thing now. It's not based on love. Do you realize our culture is becoming extinct because of what's going on now with the
Yeah.
transactional phase we're going through now?
Yeah.
Women don't want to have kids. They don't want to get married. They just want to do them and live a high girl life.
Hey, may I add in something statistically? You know, it's interesting how you mentioned that. And although we're not number one, but we are being promoted as the poster child of that modern relationship rhetoric.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that we're not number one. All of us are black on this panel. There's a lot of things that are pushed on our community and will put on the front row of the seat. We'll put in the front seat of the show. Uh, but you know, we're really not number one. But they make us the face. You know what I'm saying? And so because in other circles, the transaction thing is a big thing also throughout the world. Now it's in a different way, right?
Mhm.
But there are a lot of things that are being promoted, pushed on us because the agenda is really just to split us up. And that would speak to your extinction because if less of us are repopulating with each other, cohabitating with each other, then that's a way of weeding us out, King. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you want to know something else that and I pointed this out to this girl on a panel because she said women don't need men. I said, really? Really? I said, all right, I'm about to shut you up real quick. She said, how's that? I said, okay. Now OnlyFans, right? Is mainly with women. Who are their biggest customers? Men.
Me.
Hey,
So
hey,
therefore,
hold
you
on, hold
need
on.
men to
Hey,
keep your pockets fat.
Hello.
hey, you gotta say OF because
Oh, my
I just found out that TikTok has that word in a filter.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
My
yeah,
bad.
just say OF.
OF.
Yeah, it's okay.
OF. All right. And I tell these women, y'all got OF, right? And y'all biggest customers are men. They're paying you to look at you, right? So you do need men. So don't say you don't need a man. And when your car breaks down, who's the first person you call? A repairman. Who's your house catch on fire? Who you call? A fireman.
Hello.
A police. I said you need help with the police. Who you call? A policeman.
Yeah,
Right?
yes, yep,
Time
yep.
out, because it ain't just firemen and policemen.
I get it,
Okay.
but ma'am.
Nah, but I know what you're talking about. I'm messing with you.
But it's like I broke it down. I said, who built your house? Men. I don't see that many men construction workers out here. No, I don't. I don't see women putting up houses. I see men putting up houses.
Yeah, true.
Most of your factories have men. Most of your dangerous jobs are done by men, not
Yeah,
women.
yeah,
So please, I cannot stand when women say they don't need a man because you definitely need us to make this world go round. Thank you. And
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, but you
and
know it
James
shouldn't
Brown
upset
and
you. All
James
you should
Brown
do is
Also, vice
laugh.
versa
and
though, because
James
a man to
Brown,
say they don't need a woman.
but James Brown couldn't have put it better himself when he said it is a man's world because it is a man's
That's
world.
right.
And I
Man's
land.
world.
We got to be mindful of context. So I hear what you're saying, but there's context to everything. Ultram, I think you was about to reply. Go ahead, Ultram.
Um, no, I replied. No, I said what I had to say. I replied in agreement with the brother.
Oh, okay. So when women say that I don't need a man stuff, obviously they mean more on a relationship basis
Uh-huh.
because it's very easy for us to point out the industries and equipment and things that were built by men. And yes, there were things that were invented by women as well. And we're not pushing that to the side. But what
No.
we're saying is that on a majority scale, men have industrialized this planet. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I think sometimes, but this is what gets taken for granted, right? And I'm not trying to make this like a sexist thing, but women will buy the car, but they don't care about who built it. Then when you tell them who built it, then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I guess we did need a man for that. Women will pick up the power drill, use it, and say they don't need a man. But then you're like, okay, well, who made that drill? Oh, okay, well, I guess we needed a man for that. See, the thing is that it's talking before thinking, and a lot of that's just out of hurt, and a lot of that boils down to this subject, rejection. At some point, uh, there's things that have been happening to women where they've got rejected at some point that scarring now leads to them saying the stuff that you're talking about, King. You know, there's something must have happened, and understand rejection. Although we're talking about on a dating situation, but you could be rejected love in a parental home, and that can affect you.
Yeah.
Mila, can you speak to that? You can go first.
Um. Okay, so I can't speak to it because I have not been rejected
Well, I'm sure you
in a
observed it with others, but
parental
you can speak about it.
home,
Yeah.
but um, my my mother's siblings have always talked about how their mother and father has treated them growing up. Um, the girls would be treated different than the boys. The girls would be able to do this, that, and the third. The boys would be, they get in trouble for doing basic boy things. If you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And no
Yes.
kid came about. But if the girl go out and do it, it's perfectly fine. There is no harm done to the girl.
Right.
And I'm like, why? But I asked my grandma, "Hey, grandma, why did you whoop the boys for going out, and kissing the girl or whatever the case may be?" Oh, because he had no business doing it. But my mama had a baby at 15. She didn't get in trouble.
But you gotta
So, well,
realize
she had obligations. She had to do this. She had to do that. I don't get it.
so much is placed upon a man. So much responsibility. So much a boy and a man is supposed to do. We're not supposed to go out the norm. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be the responsible ones. We're supposed to be the ones that do right. You understand? So by him stepping out, and moms already tell us, you keep your stuff in your pants. Don't do nothing stupid. Don't bring no kids in here, cause I ain't take care of them. You gonna take care of them, right?
Yeah.
This is what all our parents told us when we was growing up. So with that being said, a man steps out of that order. When a man steps out of that order, then it's a disappointment to the parent because they already said, we already told you this. But with the woman, it's more delicate because they're like, well, she didn't know better. What happened? They always consider somebody took advantage of them or something
But
of that nature.
I
So
don't get it though, because now
it's
before
more of
is
a shelter thing. It's more of a sheltering thing for women than it is for men because men are supposed to be responsible ones.
but they act like men don't get taken advantage of as well though. So
But
that's my thing. It's okay for a woman to do certain things at a certain age and it be okay with the parents. But as soon as a young man or a man do it, it's a problem. I
because
don't understand it.
because men and women are not equal. Even though women want us to be equal with them, but we're not equals.
I
I
don't
know that's a hard pill. I know that's a hard pill for most women to swallow, but that is a proven fact.
I'm not gonna beat my son just because he went outside and hit a baby. That don't make sense.
I get where you're coming from, but where most parents,
But I know, and I know I was replying into what Fifth said, the question that he asked. But I don't get it. Like I do get parental rejection. I do get it because I've heard about it, but I've never seen it. But at some point in time, I wonder if the parents look back and be like, "Oh, I was wrong for this," or "I was wrong for that." I wonder if that ever crosses the parents' mind
no,
at
because
one point in time.
I don't think so because I feel that they're doing their job as a parent and they're doing their job to protect their boys. And another reason why they're so hard on boys is because how the system is set up for 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 fathers that's not with the mothers. That can be very expensive or very detrimental. So it's more of a protection for their son saying, if you want to make sure that's your wife you have a child with, because it can be very expensive taking care of a child and you're not with the mother.
Okay, yeah, that's
That's
true.
that's that's another reason why parents are harder on their sons than they are on their daughters.
Okay, I get it. You can go ahead, Fifth.
Hey, Lena. How you doing, Lena?
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, Lena's one of my VIPs, all right? So, Lena, the topic is who handles rejection better, men or women? You have the floor.
I think that women handle rejection better, but they don't respond better. And I think that men tend to not handle it so well, but they can sometimes respond a little better, right? It just really depends on the man. And it really, to be honest, it's down to the woman. But I think that overall, if I look at a majority, I don't think men handle the rejection well.
Elaborate a little bit more on that because I handle rejection very well as a man.
Oh,
Well, I
trust me,
mean,
she
you're not
will.
He said,
speaking on
Le-
he
you.
said,
You're
I was
speaking
just gonna
on
say, you gotta
men in
let her.
particular. Yeah.
yeah,
So
hey,
I don't know you from a can of paint, honey. So I
so,
don't know what
so,
you.
so, King, hold on, King. Let me explain something about Lena. Lena will definitely explain that. Lena could talk.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
So we're gonna let Lena land, and like I said, Lena, I like when Lena comes up here because she makes my job easier. But Lena, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So women don't always respond well, and what I mean by they usually tend to make an attack on a man when they're being rejected. Oh, he must be gay. Oh, he's this. Oh, he don't have that much money. You know, they usually try to hit his ego. They try to attack the ego when they're being rejected, right? Versus usually with men and the way that they respond, right? It's kind of similar, right? Where you either see them respond in a very nasty way where they're using verbal assaults, right? Whether they're talking about a woman's hair, her appearance, things like that. But then also, unfortunately, you see some men get violent when they're rejected. They tend to need to get violent. You know, I've seen several videos on social media, but also in real life, right? And me growing up in high school, you know, they will literally follow, as a woman is walking away, they will follow her, harassing her and just screaming at her and yelling at her. So that's why I say there's times where I've seen men say, you know what, thank you for your time. They've approached a woman and say, hey, can I have your number? She says, no, I have a boyfriend. They say, you know what, thank you, but you look very beautiful today, and they could keep it pushing. But there's other times where I've seen men get upset. I've seen men throw drinks. I've seen men do all these things, and should they exhibit violent behavior? These are typically men who lack emotional intelligence, and they usually lack fathers, in my opinion. They lack being around a real man. They don't have examples of real men. And the women who respond so nasty, who have to attack a man simply because he's rejected her, she typically probably has low self-esteem, and she puts her appearance and attention is the number one thing for her. So whenever a man does not want her based off her appearance and does not give her that attention, she then feels inadequate. So she then, in order to make herself feel adequate again, she then has to attack him. So that is my explanation for that.
Hey, Lena, can I ask you something?
Yes.
So when you see a man respond, I want to make sure I heard you correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You gave me an example of how there's a section of women who respond in a unbecoming behavior in nasty way, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So would you say that's learned behavior at some point?
It can be learned behavior from society.
Okay. Can you say the same about men as well? Could that be learned behavior as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I absolutely can.
So the reason why I mention that, because you said that the portion of men that you think who act like that or have acted like that may or may not have good examples in their lives in terms of men or fathers.
Mm-hmm.
So if a little boy was raised, and I'm not pointing blame, I'm just pointing this out for women who encounter this.
Mm-hmm.
If a boy who was raised by an unbecoming behavior mother,
Mm-hmm.
would that play a factor in the way men today or the men of old who have seen that growing up, would that explain how they react as well?
It very well could. So absolutely. I do agree that can have an effect on him. However, when it comes to women, I think that if they're raised by the same type of mother, they're going to pick up those behaviors from that mother, and then they can take on those traits from the mother, right? But when I look at a man, and I look at a man and I think about him being a young boy and him not having an example of what how a man is to be, that is like one of the main keys. For me, I'm a mother. My daughter mimics me. My daughter puts on my heels. She tries to pretend like she's putting on makeup and things like that. She pretends to curl her hair, right? There's time where I wear, majority of the time I'm wearing dresses and skirts. So when she crosses her legs when she sits. These are things that she's doing because she's observing me in the way that I am, right? However, my daughter, unfortunately, may not have the insight of the way a man would respond to a woman because she does not have the opportunity to see that from a father-daughter perspective, right? So, and vice versa with a young man who may be in a similar situation. He may see the way a woman responds to other people. She can respond to other women or other men. But he doesn't have a man around to show him what a quote unquote, I don't always like using this term because I think it can sometimes be offensive, but a real man. He doesn't get to see a way a real man would respond in a situation where there's rejection or where there's conflict. So women, we know women tend to be on very high emotion, right? And they tend to act, if it's a certain type of woman, right, where she has no training and things like that, she's going to act out of emotion. She's going to act erratic and things like that, which is why we can typically see that people who behave this way, we would mostly say that if we see a man acting that way, we would say he's being very feminine, right? Or he has the emotions of a woman, right? That's typically what most people would say.
Yeah.
So when a male only sees that and that's the way he responds, then you would then see that he has the emotions of a woman, but it does lack from the father. It all stems from the father. The father, I mean, you know how I am. Father is the head of the household, right? If you're missing the head, then what happens?
Well, see, Lena, and then I'm gonna let open discussion happen. See, Lena, the reason why I mentioned that, and I'm glad you gave me an insight of how your daughter is a little you, in a good way, because she's learning the ways of, ladylike things, femininity, and stuff like that. Now,
Mm-hmm.
imagine those challenges. Well, I don't want to call them challenges yet. In my point, but imagine now you had a son. I'm sure you would have to stop him from putting on heels, stop him from using your lipstick, stop him from using your makeup. And then you would have to
Mm-hmm.
explain why.
Right.
Go ahead, Lena.
No, I 100% agree with you. Yeah, because he does not know, right? He doesn't. If I had a son, and I didn't, his father was absent. He wouldn't see a man put on his work boots or put on his overalls or his sweatpants and whatever. He wouldn't be able to see that. Now I think that some women, single mothers, I think they do a great job of the distinction between man and woman for their young boys. I'm not going to say they can do the job that a man would do, but I think that they do a great job considering their situation and what they have access to, right? With the wisdom and knowledge that they have access to. So it can only go so far when you're a woman. But yeah, overall, I agree.
Okay, Miss Lena. Um, let's say, well, most of the women, I mean, most of the children that are being brought up today, right, are
Hmm.
mainly raised by whom? Which mechs are the children really raised by?
Their parents?
No, mainly women.
Oh, okay. You're asking what gender. That's your question. Yes, majority of your household are single mother households.
Was that the?
King, I don't know if you heard her because it looked like you went out. Did you hear what Lena said, King? Because she answered your question.
I think his sound did go out.
Hey, he probably got a phone call. That probably what happened. Ultram, you want to say anything before you go? Because I heard you say you got to go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, I'm back. um, what I was saying is, you know, but most of these mothers out here raising sons, and I'm gonna touch on the subject you just brought on. You said most of these young guys are coming off as soft or feminine, right? The reason why this is happening is because most of these mothers are raising their sons, and this is what they're picking up. You understand? They're not, like you said. There's no male in the figure. There's no male role model in the house. So all he knows how to do is be in tune with his feelings. Correct?
I mean, I'm not understanding the point that you're trying to
Well,
make.
like I said, I'm sorry, Lena. I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
You good? Go ahead, sis.
But like I was saying in the beginning, some men don't lead with feelings. Some men don't believe in feelings. My husband is one of the people that don't lead or believe in feelings. So I can't sit here and let you say all men or most men are in tune with their soft side, because it's not true, in
As,
my opinion.
exactly. That's what I was trying to get at.
Who said
Hey,
that?
hold up real quick. Hey, Ultram, you got to go, right? Ultram, y- yeah,
I
you
think
got to
it's
follow Ultram.
Yes.
Audios. All right, you got a final thought before you go? I just want to give you that space. Go ahead.
Just want to thank you for inviting me, Fifth. And I enjoyed the discussion. It's great to have a panel with not just us fellas, but with the ladies as well. And keep on keeping on.
Thank you,
Have a
brother.
great day, sir.
enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thank you. Peace and blessings.
Yeah, I'm just confused of who said most men are in tune with their emotions, or was that
No, King did.
King? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that we can sit here and point the finger at single moms all day, but a single mom would not be a single mom if there wasn't an absent father or there wasn't a father with the father present. She would that term, you could not consider her a single mom if a man is there. So it without the man being there, she's considered a single mom.
But most of the moms
So
are putting the fathers out of the house. Don't you think so? I
that's
do.
absolutely
No,
not
that's
true.
absolutely not true.
I
Not
don't
true.
believe that.
That's an excuse.
It's not.
Sounds nice.
That's not an excuse. I'm just saying most mothers put the child out, put the father out the house, because the government is taught the women to do that. You don't need the father in
What
the house. Let us
What
take
part
care
of
of
the
you.
government has taught
Fifth?
the woman to
Fifth, let
do
me ask
that?
you a question, Fifth.
Yes, ma'am.
You're a grown man, right?
Yes, ma'am. 38.
You consider yourself to be a leader, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You consider yourself to be a godly man, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You know how to treat a woman at 38, right?
Yes, ma'am.
If your wife wanted to kick you out, you gonna allow a grown woman to kick you out your own house?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But let me answer
Exactly.
that though. Let me answer that though. Okay, no, I'm not allowing that. But I want you to know what the law is. So the law states that if a woman calls the police on you, in that moment, a particular decision will be made. And most oftentimes, the police will. Yeah, you can poetic. I'll get to you in 1 second, poetic. I promise. Okay. So if the police will suggest that the man will leave the house,
Mm-hmm.
he
No,
he he will he will suggest. You understand what I'm saying? In that
I
moment.
know a man who went through a divorce, and that's exactly what happened. It was his house. He purchased it. He married this woman, and when she called the police told him to get his items and leave his house. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's legality. He had to leave. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank God this was a man who had the finances to where he said, "Okay, I'm then going to go ahead and get me a small little place until my divorce is finalized." Right? When he went to the courts, they weren't even married. First off, when you think about how he married this woman, he met her during COVID, got married after 2 months, and then after a year, they ended up having a baby, everything, right? So the whole thing was just kind of just on a whim, right? Where I felt like he was bored and he just did some stuff and got married and had a baby with someone, right? But when he talked about that process, you're absolutely right. Legally, he left his home because he was legally required to due to the state that he lived in. But when he went to court and he showed his deed, he showed up to court. When the woman tried to say, "Oh, I don't want him to have access to my child," he showed his receipts. He showed his legal documents. He said, "I do more for my child than she does. She doesn't even have a job. I am more capable of doing this." He went through the process. Should he have had to? Absolutely not. No man should have to go through that. If he's trying to be a present father, why even interject with that, right? But he went through the legality process. They told her, now you have 30 days to get out. We're going to give you 30 days. You have to get out of his house. And your child is now going to have rightful custody with him until you can find your own place and get things in order, right? So A lot of times we have these excuses, men have these excuses, and respectfully, I don't want to hear it.
But Lena, I'm very mindful of the words that you used at the end, and we're having a respectful conversation, right?
We are.
So I like the fact that you mentioned you didn't use those words, but you are keeping in mind that it's not fair,
Life
right?
ain't fair.
Right. Okay. So you're being mindful that that situation and what that man went through isn't fair. The point is that it happens, and this is the part that gets ignored. That it's not what you mentioned happening to a man. That's not an excuse. What you're talking about is an actual reason and legality,
Right.
and that is something that is a problem in this justice system. So if a man brings up that case that you just said to me,
Mm-hmm.
it would be disingenuous if you said that that was an excuse because you just told us what the process is when a man goes through that.
And I
That's all.
1000% agree with you. That would be disingenuous. However, when a woman talks about what she went through with her child's father, and she can say, you know what, I did not want to leave. I wanted a family, but you know, because of the abusive situation, I had no choice but to leave. And even in this man's situation, where legality was the reason why he left, in her situation, danger and her life being at risk was the reason why she left. In her story, in her situation, it goes back to, well, you chose him. So in his situation, I get it. You didn't want to leave, but you had to leave because of legality reason. But I'm going to take it back to, but you chose her. And again, it's not
Okay.
fair. It's not
Okay.
fair. You're right.
Well, yeah, and I don't think any man of sound mind would have a problem with a woman leaving a situation where she was getting hit and stomped on, if that's the example that you're using. Any man of
Hey,
sound mind would
be on
not
TikTok a
say,
little bit longer. You'll hear it. Trust me.
yeah, well, notice how I said sound mind, Lena. You
Mm-hmm.
know what sound mind means. So, all right,
Yeah.
Poetic. Hello, Poetic. How you doing? Poetic, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you, Poetic. I've seen you in the chat a couple of times. I'm glad to see that you're on the panel talking with us, okay? So I like to explain the ground rules if you haven't heard them yet. And that is no cursing, no foul language, and respect each other, and then answer the prompt before you get into the conversation with everybody else, okay? All right, so the topic is who handles rejection better, men or women? You have the floor.
I believe, um, well, I don't know. It's hard to answer because if it's talking about like dating or like women
Dating,
don't,
yes. Yeah.
women don't get rejected because men are easy. Men don't turn down women. Anytime a woman comes onto a man, he's going. Men give up themselves like very easy. They spread around their children very easy. They give up their D easy. They're just very easy. So women don't really get rejected when it comes to dating.
Poetic, stay right there because I could tell you when rejection can happen for a lady. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
so poetic. Not you, but let's just say a woman gets with a man, and like you said men can be easy, right? Let's say this is an attractive woman. This attractive woman, wants a man to take her seriously, right? Let's just say he gets the buns, and then he doesn't call her back, but she been wanting that. He ghosts her. Isn't that rejection? Poetic, you there? Okay, what happened?
Your voice went out.
My voice
I
went
hear you
out.
now. Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay, let me
I
ask it
heard you
again.
up to the part where it's attractive woman.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize my voice went out. What I was saying was rejection, right? Wouldn't you say? I said I can tell you when a woman gets rejected, even after that initial meeting point, right? A woman wants more out of the relationship, right? And he just gets the buns, and then he ghosts her right after he got the buns, maybe once or twice, right? And then he rejects her. She didn't want to be. She still wanted to be with him, but he rejected her. Wouldn't that? I mean, he ghosts her. Wouldn't that be rejection? Hey, Mila, you're my mod. Mila, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine.
I can
Okay,
find
poetic. Poetic. Did you hear? Did you hear me, poetic?
It's probably her location if she at work or in a building somewhere. It's probably her location because the very first time I joined your live, I had the problem of not being able to hear.
Yeah, I heard you, but towards the end you went out. But I kind of heard what you were trying to go to already, though. So basically, she's being rejected.
Well, she been ghosted right after he got the buns. Wouldn't that be rejection?
No,
yes.
no,
Yes
I
it
don't.
is.
No, I don't. No,
Yes.
that's not rejection because she already had him anyway. So that's not really rejection. Because I mean, the meaning of rejection is to be excluded or not chosen in social or romantically. But she was chosen because she already got him.
Well,
No. She was not chosen. She wanted a relationship, and all he gave her was intercourse. So that's not being chosen.
How you know all she that she want a relationship?
you can't
He's giving an example.
I'm giving an example of a woman who does want that. I'm not giving an example of a woman who just wants a transaction. A woman who wants a transaction. No, that's not rejection because she wanted to get clapped too. But what I'm talking about is women who aim for further than just that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's what rejection is, but I get what you're trying to say. So,
it is
So
rejection.
what would you call that? Because that's the definition. That's rejection.
I
Because you
don't,
said to exclude, right? So if she wants to be exclusive in a relationship and he excludes her from that, I'll give another example. A woman who wants to be married and he never proposes. Never. Never. He'll never make her his wife.
It's
And that
hard rejection.
it's long planned out, but it's still rejection by definition. What do you think about that, poetic?
I don't think that's rejection.
Okay, I won't further pursue it. Any other woman want to respond to that?
She's not going to admit it, Fibs,
You said
because
what
it
was
is
the question?
rejection.
I had just got back when you guys were.
But I would like to finish my point. So, anyways, I don't think that's rejection. Like, people break up all the time. That doesn't mean you're rejecting. That means you tried and it didn't work. Like,
They were
people,
never
that
in
it
a
doesn't necessarily
relationship.
mean it's a rejection. So, there's different levels to relationships.
That's
You
moving the
might make it
goalposts,
to
ma'am.
girlfriend and boyfriend. You might make it
Hold
to
on,
fiance.
King.
You might make it
You're
to
moving the goalposts.
husband and wife.
Hold on,
You
King.
make it to different stages in relationships, but that's not really considered rejection because rejection is like when you don't even choose that person at all. Like they still was choosing that person for relationship or choosing that person for romance. So I don't believe that's rejection. That just that just quantifies as a relationship that didn't work. But regardless of the fact, men are not able to handle rejection at all. That's why they crash out when women don't want to give them their number,
Is
or
that
women turn
rage
down
bait?
some ex. They crash out. So yeah, men are not able to handle rejection.
Uh, yeah, yo, you can unmute. I just wanted her to land first. Yeah, yo,
My fault, pot. Nah,
it's all good.
I came in too fast. I haven't been on here before. I want to introduce myself, man. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday.
All right, I just like to explain the rules, okay? No cursing, no foul language, and respect each other, okay? You can
Okay.
answer the prompt. Who handles rejection better? Who handles rejection better, men or women? Go ahead, yeah,
All
yo.
right, we playing chess, not checkers. Um, I say, man, we handle rejection a lot better in terms of that we literally have the whole system to destroy us, right? And the fact that once you give this woman a ring, a child, or commitment, she tries to not tarnish it. It's weird. It's mysterious how some women move. But I think some men, and I'm talking about modern day men, are learning how to walk away. Men back in the day used to give up so much of their assets to where when they're triggered and the response to their women doing them dirty, so it's a trauma response, and it's another terminology. It's she's triggering you on purpose, and a lot of females don't take accountability for that. They trigger a man into the point he has nothing, and in the lowest and his low, they'll step on his neck. That's most women for you, and I hate to say it like that, like most, but I have to say most. When you go walking in the courtroom downtown and just see a continuous amount of women walking in and out the SSI office, child support, and all the other government agencies, and a complete mismanagement of that system. I think men have figured out, being sent to court so many times, how to defend ourselves. So the power men have been holding and is destroying the world. Not women walking away from men. It's men walking away from society. Because men are still going to the strip. Men are still picking up 304s. Men are, you know what I mean? We still, I'm 30 years old. I'm living the Viva Loca, man. I'm blessed. Divorced and made it again with a younger girl, and she's working harder than my ex, doing way more. So your power as a woman is to manipulate a man and make him think that he is nothing and can't get nothing from no other woman. A man's power is walking away and knowing the fact that we can and we will. That's all I got, host. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to
Anybody want a
rebuttal.
rebuttal?
Yeah, I
Anybody?
would like to
I agree
rebuttal.
100%.
I agree
So
with what he
okay, so
said.
who said rebuttal? That's a disagreement. Okay,
I mean, well, comment. Does anybody have a comment? Is what I'm saying.
well, you already said rebuttal. Can I go or no?
Well, okay, poetic. Poetic. Hold on, poetic. All right. So here's the thing. Poetic. I know you're new on this panel. The reason why I said rebuttal or comment is because I'm pretty sure people say things to what someone says. So it really doesn't matter is if anybody has anything to add on, take away, or anything, they can say what they want. So go ahead, poetic. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to rebut him saying that women are not able to handle rejection when that's so far from the truth. And stats even show that women are more likely to be harmed, DV'd, or unalive when they leave a relationship. So that just proves that men are not able to handle rejection because he'll literally unalive a woman or DV her when she leaves him.
So,
But
that's
hold on.
okay.
I'm sorry. Let me say this. And I know we speaking on men, but when you speak on DV and unaliving, women dating women also do the same thing.
Facts.
So you can't that's neither here nor there. You can't just put that off on men because it's not just a man thing.
Most feminists do, though. Most feminists look at it like that.
And
That's
I guess
First
said
of all, I'm not a feminist executive.
I'm not on a panel to bash nobody. I'm not on a panel to down nobody or disagree with the next person, because some things you say I might agree with. Some things you say I might not disagree with, but that's solely your opinion, and I get it.
No, these are facts according to stats. And when it comes to the article
Pull them up. Pull them up.
about
Or
ill women,
pull the
you have
stats
to
up.
Oh,
look further.
Hold on, let her talk because I can't hear her.
Yeah, these are actual facts. These are actually facts. You can easily research this on how many women are unalived or DV'd when they try to leave their partner, and it's at a much higher number than when a man leaves his woman. Secondly, when it comes to girl on girl, when you look through that article that you're referring to, I know which one you're talking about. That has been debunked so many times. It was not even the same number. And when those stories were coming, these women were giving stories of, anecdotal situations, which was not even a big number of women that they interviewed. So you need to look into that study a little bit more.
Let
can,
me let me chime in. Let me chime in
okay.
real quick because we were talking about rejection. So there's a conflation going on in what you're saying, poetic. Leaving a relationship, and rejection. Right? Remember, you just disagreed that when I said when a woman gets ghosted after getting her butt popped, that's not rejection. That's a breakup. But then you just said that when women leave their men, that's rejection. But isn't that a breakup too?
Listen, that's where you guys want to identify rejection. So I'm furthering the conversation on the stance where you guys are at. That's where you guys are at. You believe
Can,
that's rejection, a breakup. So I'm responding based on that.
So
I want to say
yeah,
poetic
go
is a
ahead, King.
walking
Go ahead.
contradiction. I want to just say poetic, you're a walking contradiction. You contradicting everything you're talking about. You're contradicting yourself. You don't know facts. You're spitting bull. I mean, show us the facts. You say you got all this information. Show me the facts. Put it on the big screen right here. Let us see that. You got all this knowledge about men DVing and unaliving women and all this good stuff. Show me the facts, please.
I
Don't just
have
talk about it. Don't talk about it. Show us.
I
Because
have a
right now you're just talking
stipulation.
all air,
Okay.
all you're doing is hot air right now.
Hey King, I have a stipulation when it comes to statistical stats, and from the Bureau of Statistics of Labor last year, a female, the director of the Bureau of Statistics of Labor, was fired for manipulating the stats to benefit women because women's stats were so egregious. So from this point on, lady poetic, I just want to say, besides going on the internet and understanding that this is a complete ploy to manipulate your mind to make you, I don't know, to make you think you're better than men. And then I know it's not that, but you're putting men as subservient nature from things that you're calling facts that are not actual factual. The facts are the woman who did that was fired because she had to manipulate the stats to make female, because she was a feminist. Bro,
Exactly.
Donald Trump had to fire her. So before we talk about stats, I want you to know that personally. And I want you to know, because there are less GAY females than there are men in general, the stats don't differ. Females put hands on each other way more and divorce each other on it's a crazy amount. It's like 70% more often. So these stats that you're bringing up, we had this conversation. They threw graphs and algorithms and stuff. The last panel I was on talking about this, you're talking about is kind of a nuisance to what we're talking about. Rejection and blatant false fallacies you're bringing up. These things do not I can't continue on without you knowing these things. And if I know you know these things and you don't care, then I know where I stand on this conversation.
All right, so you told me to bring it up. Here it is, and you can look this up at
Again, it was by a feminist
hold
male.
on, let me finish because it's my turn. So at
This is an open
stoprelationshipsabuse.org.
panel, I thought.
Yeah, but I was talking. That's
Okay,
rude.
but it's open panel.
Okay, but I didn't interrupt you, so let me land.
Hey,
Um,
King, you gotta let
so
her finish. You can't keep cutting off.
thank you. It definitely here is facts. This is not based on my opinion. Women are the highest at risk within 3 months of separation, with some research indicating 50% of these homicides occur in that time frame. So these men are unaliving the women after they break up with them. One study found that 79% of femicide, which is what, a man unaliving a woman, victims aged between 18 and 50 have been reported when she is leaving him. Okay? You can find all this at stoprelationshipabuse.org, which is a um, notable website, any .org, .gov. So, like I said initially, all of my statements can be backed up with facts and stats, and it's not based on opinion. Okay. Now let's talk about
That is opinion.
hetero relationships. The men are unaliving the women when she rejects him by leaving him, since you guys say that that's classified as rejection. So, on your terms, that is classified as rejection. I have been able to prove that men are more likely to unalive the woman when she leaves him. Thank you. Bye bye. I gotta go.
Okay, again, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
What does that have
I
to do with
was
what you said, host?
She's a
Like, who
very
was even
arrogant
talking
ass
to
woman.
you?
She's a very
Like,
arrogant
they
woman.
told me it was
eh,
opinion. Lovely said it was opinion. I was proving that it was not opinion.
I
It's the
did.
fact
I
and it's the
said it was
fact.
her opinion. I did.
So
That is an
that was the
opinion.
fact, and that's solid. Nobody can rebut that. If you do, that's on you. But
It's
it's
from the
dumb when
side
the
you.
facts are right there in front of you.
Hey, Fifth.
okay. Hey, wait. Hold on. Hold on.
I
Let me
just said I gotta
respond.
go. Are you gonna sit and
It's
galaxy for me to
physically
say? Because I gotta go.
impossible to rebut what she just said.
Hold on. Let me respond. Okay. All right. So I appreciate her saying what she said, but this is what I was trying to point out. And shout outs to Poetic, no disrespect. I was talking about rejection, right? Like there's
Yeah.
a difference between rejection and breakup. She originally disagreed that if a woman gets ghosted by a man after he first popped that butt, that she said that's not a rejection. She said men and
It
women
is
break up all the
though.
time, right?
No, it is a
So
rejection.
right. The point I was making was it is. Then she mentions a situation where there's a breakup. I said it's a conflation of the conversation because if we're talking about rejection versus breakup, that's a different conversation. She's going to the breakup in the DV rates, right? Okay.
Yep.
So that's another topic. So that's all I was trying to speak to. But I will be fair. Before she left, she goes, "Well, Fifth, I know that's not what you said, but that's what the men on the panel were saying." I don't think I heard any other men make that point either.
Nope,
Am I wrong?
we didn't make that.
No, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong at all.
So we were basically having two different conversations. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that was established because I was trying to talk to her before she left.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
she got
And
enough
poetic
sense. She got enough
and
sense.
shout no and shout outs to poetic. Poetic could come back if she wants to, but I wanted to have a conversation with poetic because poetic has been in the chat a few times, but she's never gone on the show, and I don't know poetic. I was trying to get to know poetic.
She's very
Um,
arrogant.
well,
She's
all
very
right.
arrogant.
I think Yayo or King had something to respond to. Go ahead.
Yayo
Put
was
Yayo on the
putting
big
something up on
screen.
his screen.
Put Yayo on the big screen. He got some information. I want her to see that, but she dipped off. She wanted to
Um,
lead off.
from the way we're raising our children and the way we have people in society set up, and I just think when it comes to matriarchy, and I think that's where she's leaning towards, is not patriarchy. It's everything anti-patriarch. That women like the director of the Bureau of Statistics of Labor and the woman, example A that left, what they like to do is set a stage and then say things like, you have no rebuttal. You can't. There's no such thing. She was caught lying and messing with the stats. Supposedly she was a doctor. Mind you, we had a female doctor in Congress she was testifying. I forget about, or not, I don't forget about what, but the top type director guy asked her, so biological woman, a girl, and a biological man, those are by that through conception. And she's like, well, if a woman has trouble answering that question, she's anti-patriarch. A girl is a girl and a boy is a boy by biology, but she had a hard time. The director of Bureau of Statistics of Labor had a hard time telling the truth because women's stats are awful and outrageous, and it doesn't make women look good in society. I'm sorry. Yeah, and then again, this is their setting stone. They have to tell you these things and then run away. And I think with most women, just like the game of life, we never taught women. And I know this for a fact. And I'm sorry to go all left and right all the place, but I've dated women who play sports. Women who play sports are so they're good. They're level-headed. They know how to shake hands after a loss. Women who've never played sports besides hustling the government and men only understand how to hustle and take and they don't know how to take a loss. They're very
I got you,
actually,
Fifth.
yeah, they're the exact
Okay,
opposite.
so let me say this because I know Fifth has something to do for a minute. Um, when you mention women in sports, in my whole entire life, I only met two people that play women's sports, women's WNBA. Candace Parker and Lisa Leslie. Candace Parker, I know personally. I grew up with her family.
Wow.
Wow, those the only two.
Those are the only two. Those are the only two that honestly caught my eye in a respectful manner. Not
Okay.
because of how they play sports, but because how they
Heard of
handle themselves in situations.
right.
Yeah.
I have so much respect for them because unlike most women, they don't put their business out into the world.
Right.
They don't, you don't know if they done been divorced, if they been married, if they had about three more kids added on to the kids that they had. They're not out in the open like other women are.
Right.
I have mad respect for those two women.
We got to do something with this feminist movement, though, because these feminists are putting poison out here to our women, giving them the wrong information,
Eh.
false stats about men, and
Yeah,
then they
it's true.
You.
degrade men
Mm-hmm.
and disrespect men and talk down
King.
on men.
I'm a
Let them
black
finish.
pillar, sir.
Let them
King, I'm a
finish,
black pillar. I
Jacob.
have to tell you this. I let females leave them to their own devices. I'm a black pillar. I know and I've seen, you're an OG. I could tell that you've seen women hold consequences absolutely brutally, like a tsunami of accountability that they've never held, because that's life. If you don't hold accountability truly and honestly as a man, you will be deleted. You will go to jail. You will
Yeah.
have nothing and have nothing. But females understand if they sell themselves, or if they sell themselves to the lowest bidder, which is usually a conglomerate of people, of idiocy people who, they follow that group because there's less wolves, there's a lot of sheep. Yes,
And
sir.
not only that, and I noticed something about her too. She likes to be in control of the situation. She likes to be in control, and when she deals with a real man, she runs away. When a real man gets in her, when a real man get in her
stuff, she runs away.
Yeah.
Because when I got in her stuff, she ain't had nothing to say to me because I was calling her out on everything. I said she's a walking contradiction, which was true. She is a walking contradiction.
She did contradict herself though.
Yeah, that's why I said that, and that's why she left.
But like Yayo said, her stats was from something else. It was totally off point. It had nothing to do with what Fifth said.
Right? It didn't. But see, this is why I say we have to be careful about allowing feminists to come into safe spaces like this because it will cause turmoil. It will
Yeah.
cause problems because you cannot um you can't rationalize with a feminist because a feminist is going to think what a feminist is going to think,
Hmm.
and they're going to feel the way they feel about men no matter how much a man can tell her she's wrong. She'll say she's right till she's blue in the face.
Yeah. It's a mental health disorder is just as well as racism is a mental health disorder because there's no common ground because the person never learned how to take a L. So in conjunction, what I'm trying to say is she definitely couldn't take rejection because if she did, she would have stood up here and had like a symbiosis conversation where it's completely equilibrium and we could go back and forth in discussion, but
Right.
she decided to throw a lie. And then once we told her, hey, we have stats to ourselves, she ran away. I've
Exactly.
met people like this in the corporate world. I'm working with women right now, and I highly regret it in the corporate world. I'm a welding inspector, and infantryman, veteran, and I hate it. I hate working with women. The older women there are so cool and nice and really nice, beautiful people. But the women of my age and younger, bro, these girls are chopped, and they're talking about acting like they're better than the last girl, and it's like, bro, these girls do not know how ugly they are. I'm not trying to be mean, but like I think men we accept life because we hold accountability.
Right.
I don't think women accept anything that says that they're contrary than being the most beautiful as women. Because with accountability, you have to be an adult, and I don't think a lot of women ever even humble themselves. And I'll land
Well,
there.
I'm gonna say this, and I have been the only woman on the panel so far, besides the two women that was up here. I've learned to take accountability for everything that I have done and will do, because not taking accountability don't get you anywhere.
It doesn't.
It's gonna forever set you back.
Yep.
It's not it's
Mm,
not gonna get you in a better relationship. It's not gonna get you another job. It's not gonna get you anything.
mm,
So women and men have to be mindful when it comes to taking accountability.
for sure.
That's
For
true.
sure.
That's
And
very
you
true.
can't sit there and lie to yourself, oh, I'm gonna take accountability today, but I'm not gonna do it tomorrow. Or I'm gonna do it tomorrow, but I'm not gonna do it today. That it don't make sense. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. If you're not gonna do it, don't lie to yourself and say you are.
Quick question for everybody that paddle. How old is everybody? I'm
I'm
40,
I'm
49.
30.
I'm 33.
And see, she probably was in her early 20s because I could tell she was a youngin because her
For sure.
mindset, the way she was talking, the way she was acting. She was acting
But that
irrational.
goes back to what Fifth said. Or I don't was it Fifth that said it or was it you? It's the way the women are raised.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And also, I
Some women
wanted,
not raised to take accountability. Some women are raised to do whatever it is that they have to do. Some women are raised to not listen to a man.
exactly.
So you have to be mindful of that. That's why I told her respectfully, that's your opinion. And if
Exactly.
that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Nobody can stop how you feel.
And I piggyback right off you when I said that is an opinion. That is not facts. And I wanted to also pull up something else about the rejection. I wish she was here because I would have told. I said, did you ever see the uh the um the post with the lady female truck driver that got mad because no man would help her? That's your job, sweetheart. You a truck driver. Your job is to unload your stuff off your truck. It's not no man's job to unload your truck. What I look like doing your job and you getting paid for it? You crazy? You don't want to remove the stuff off your truck? If you don't want to remove it, go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Get another job. You chose to be a truck driver. You chose to be a freight driver and have packages and want to take stuff off the truck. That's your job. You chose that. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. I definitely get 100%.
Because I was like this. I said she got the nerve and audacity to get mad because these men watching her unload her truck. Yes, you're doing your job. Do your job. It's not our job. You expect them men that's just sitting around watching you do your job, unload your truck, and you get paid for it just to drive it? You crazy.
Um, who is this? Yo, free thinker.
A little bit loud, brother.
Your volume is loud over there, sir.
Oh, I do it when I go look. Okay, I'm back. Hey, free thinker, you there?
Yeah, his volume just loud.
Yeah.
Okay, he wasn't ready. There was a few people trying to get on. I think I accepted them. If I missed you, request it again because I had to step away from the phone.
But Hubs, we definitely do need safe spaces on here to talk as adults, bro. I mean, if there's no safe space for adults to have a conversation, yeah, to come to an agreement to disagree without it being out of hand, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't be in you can't talk, you can't communicate with people and everybody yelling at each other. Feel me?
Yeah, that's a fact. I have a certain set of rules. I have a decorum policy on this panel, and that is you could talk, but just you know what I mean. Just be respectful. Let people land. Because one of the things that I hate, I'm someone who's been podcasting for so many years, right?
Yeah,
So before I came to TikTok, I did a lot of stuff on the internet, and I also listened to a lot of shows and stuff on YouTube
yeah. I like Fadoozy,
and
man.
watching a panel of people yell over each other and you can't hear them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I like Fadoozy, man.
You know.
Fadoozy be calling them. You watch it? Fadoozy, man. He be catching them, y'all. I respect him a whole heck of a lot. Cause Fadoozy, man, he really be making women think. And he don't get out of character or nothing. He sit down and break it down for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know, what have we proved here? I mean, we've proved that both men and women have been affected by rejection.
Right.
I think in a lot of cases, and we have to admit it to ourselves that there are things that we've been burned by in terms of rejection, and then we do bring it to the next person. You know what I'm saying? Lotus earlier stated, we could become guarded. She said that in the comments, but we could also become jaded.
Yeah.
We have to admit that our thoughts and opinions and how we move forward, we become jaded in that instance. Does anybody want to speak to that?
I mean, I truly agree with that. I mean, that's true. Because what in terms of your relationship, what in terms of your relationship determines the person you're going to be. Whether you're a strong individual that can hack it, or you're a weak individual that can't take it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure you've seen in many cases where a man has been burned, right?
Yeah.
And as far as being rejected, after he takes a woman out on 2 dates, 2 to 3 days, he was a free meal guy. That's
Right.
rejection too. I forgot to mention that earlier.
Right.
But are we?
That's a form of rejection.
Yeah,
But
because you
Are we just talking about relationship, or are we just talking about in general rejection?
So we're talking about in general, but we started with the foundation of relationships, and I'm glad you're on the mic. So I like to explain a few rules for people who are new here. Okay, no cursing, no foul language, and then you can answer the prompt before you get into the conversation with everyone else. Okay, who handles rejection better, men or women? And you can answer it on all points. Go ahead.
In my opinion, I think men handle rejection better than women. If you listen to most of these athletes or men that have accomplished things, they will tell you how many times they've been rejected with their ideas or their plans before they become successful. Walt Disney actually failed 134 times before we see Disneyland show up. Bill Gates will tell you the same thing, and if Steve Jobs was here, he would tell you how many times he got rejected. So
right.
men, in my opinion, handle rejection better than women. Now, women, if we're talking about dating, I still think men handle it better because a lot of times when we get turned down. It's not because of our looks. It is because of our looks or how we look. It's not because of anything else. So a lot of times you have men that are not the way women want them to be. They'll turn them down. If you guys know, if you go to a club and you go to one girl and she's in a crew with her girlfriends, if she says no, every last one of them is going to say no to you. So men have learned how to change their ideas and how to approach women. So and a lot of these men go to clubs. I didn't hear them come out and say they unalized 30 women in there because one woman told them no. But we have seen women get rejected and how they act inside the club. They're throwing the wine bottle, they're throwing the glass bottle, they're throwing everything out there because somebody told them that they didn't want them. For instance, this young lady here, what's her name? That wanted to
Poetic.
date. I'm not going to comment on her. I've had other lives with her, and she has come up with information that is not true because the stat that she's giving you actually came from it came from something different, and the stat she actually brought up says that women relationship are way more violent than men and women relationships. So she just took that portion because she was on another panel a couple weeks ago, and she brought that same stat, and the host brought it up to show that where she took it from. So she's not taking that from a correct stat. The stat actually had women and women, how violent women and women were, and then at the end of it, it says about men and women relationship, but it didn't say men unalive women more than this. It was from a different stat. So she basically conflated and removed that portion. So
Yeah.
that's why I was in the comments when I saw her and I was like, I got to get up here because she's famous for doing that, but she's not here to defend herself. So I'm going to leave her alone, and I'm going to respect the host and just answer what is asked. But in my opinion, men handle rejection more because that's how we develop, our ego and how we should change certain things. If I was 240 pounds and I couldn't and I barely get anybody to talk to me. I got down to 185 and now everybody wants to talk to me. So men learn why they're being rejected and what they have to change. Women will be 220 pounds and 5'2" and still think that she has the same characteristic of the woman that's 5'5", 102 pounds and says, well, we're the same, it's the same dress, but you're not the same size. But it's the same dress, but you're not the same size.
Right.
If you look at some of these shows that pop the balloon, all the women will reject the guy, but the reason for rejecting him have nothing to do with his character. It's because all the other women rejected him. Not that he's not a earner or he's a good guy. It's because what she said, what she said, what she said, what she said. But but sometimes you get one of the good ones that says, "No, I'm not going to follow what everybody else say. I'm going to hear what he has to say." So, in my opinion, men handle rejection better than women. That's just my opinion.
Amen to that, brother.
Well, on that note, I see no lies. Like at first, I'm gonna be honest. I always thought women handle rejection better because I'm going off I'm going off base what I see daily. Um, I can't speak for nobody else because women might take it harder than men do. But the rejection that men have to go through and do go through, well, I'm not gonna say have to go through because they don't have to go through anything. But the rejection that men go through, and with them building a wall, it's hard for the next person to come in and say, I want to be with you. I care for you. I love you. This is us, and this is how we are. I'm going to hold your hand. You going to hold mine, and we're going to take these steps together. It makes it hard for the next person.
Hey, fellas, I'm gonna tell you something. You want to get rid of a woman real quick? I'm gonna tell you the best way to do it. Tell her let's get married, or I'm or be loyal to her, or tell her you respect her. She'll leave real quick.
It didn't
Trust.
get me to leave.
But I'm just saying,
So don't say women. Don't
most
do
of these
that.
women, most women will leave if a man throws that out or shows those traits. They don't
Yeah,
want.
because
They
they don't
don't.
know how to accept it.
Yeah, they don't want nothing. They don't want nobody that's going to treat them good, treat them right. They want that man that's going to cheat on them, disrespect them, call them out their
Testing,
name,
testing,
testing, testing.
testing.
No,
All right.
Proto Kills too. We see you. Let him
I'm sorry.
address it.
I'm sorry. I'm a little new to the TikTok live thing. I'm still
No,
trying
we
to figure this shit out.
Fifth gonna introduce you. Give him
But I
1 minute.
think, but I think,
Hey,
sorry, sorry, sir, sorry.
hey, Mila, can you do that for me real quick? Hold on. I gotta go on mute. Go ahead, Mila.
Okay. Um, before y'all finish the open discussion, Proto Kills. This is the topic is who handles rejection better, men or women. But the rules is no profanity and just basically
Respect
watch
each
what you
other.
say. Please be respectful.
Well. First of all, thank y'all for having me on. Appreciate you guys having me tune in. I just scrolled past TikTok and and like I said, please forgive me. I'm still kind of new to the whole TikTok live thing. I didn't even know TikTok had live streams. I thought that was mainly YouTube or something. But bear with me if I'm still trying to catch on to the whole TikTok live thing. Okay. First things first. I hope everybody's doing well. My personal opinion, there's a balance. There's a two-way balance. There's the balance that balance in quantity, and what I mean by that is men. I would say most men can handle rejection more than women. Lots of women can't handle rejection. Well, more women cannot handle rejection as opposed to men can handle rejection. However, the off-putting to the balance is there are some men out there that will delete women for rejecting them. I've seen it on the news quite a few times. That's the balance there. But also the balance in quantity is if 10 men get rejected in a club, 9 of them will be fine. If 10 women get rejected in the club, 9 of them are going to have a problem with that.
Right.
That's the balance right there. I've even seen lots of women falsely accuse a guy of SA because he rejected her. I've seen it happen multiple times. You see what I'm saying? But what's making this so balanced out a two-way street is, there have been more men that have deleted women for rejecting them. You see what I'm saying? There has been more cases of that. That's why I say it's a balance. It's a two-way balance. That's why it's hard to argue the two. You kind of understand what I'm saying?
I
I
don't
understand.
I don't disagree with you, but most men are not gonna call the authorities because they're more embarrassed to even report it. So while we may have reports of women calling it in, they already have shown that men do still get um assaulted by women, but they just don't report it.
No, that's
So
true.
you
I agree
you
with you.
you make a great point because what you have found out is that men years later after the relationship has ended, then they'll reveal hey, my wife struck me, and then they'd be like, brother, how'd you handle it, man? Internally in house, I didn't call the cops. I didn't do nothing about that. But that is something that you will find out years later.
I mean,
Yes.
well, you kind of got to fault. I'm not trying to give women the benefit of the doubt, but you kind of got to fault the man for that, for allowing himself to put himself in that position. I dare a woman puts her hands on me. That'll be the last time she'll put her hands on me. You see what I'm saying?
But it
She,
sounds good. It sounds good. But in 2026 now, the law has changed to where when the police officers come to the house, they're looking at who initiated. They're looking at who initiated it and who is hurt. So they're not looking at it as how about before, as you call and they show up and they, oh, take him out of the house, he has to leave. Now they're looking at who initiated it, and if they found that the woman initiated, then she has to go or she has to be arrested. So the law has changed a little bit in men's favor. But I have seen a lot of men that, and it sounds good, sir, that if a woman put your hands on what you're going to do, but if you're in the wrong state or you don't have evidence, and a lot of these guys now have evidence, that's why it's good to have a camera with a video on there to show who initiated it. Because when the police come, that's what they're asking you: do you have evidence? And if you could show it, I saw a live couple weeks ago, a video a couple weeks ago where the lady's running around the house with a knife, and he keeps telling her to put the knife down, and she kept stabbing up the furniture and everything, and he recorded everything. When the cops came, she put the knife down. She became feminine, and this guy was the problem. And after the cops viewed the video, they're like, "Nope, you gotta go." Nope, and they arrested her. And she's telling them, "But why? You didn't see what he did to me." And they're telling her, "We've been watching this video almost an hour. Did you not know that he was taping you?" She said no, but she knew he was taping her. She just didn't think that he was going to show it to the cops. She had a disabled son that she's now telling this guy to watch her disabled son. He's like, "No, I'm not watching him." And they took her and the son. I guess in New York we call them ACS, which is child care custody. Came and got the child, but she went to jail. But kudos to that man who had a video, because when the cops came, and if they came and he didn't have the video, he was going to be the one leaving.
I mean, I agree with you, but, and kudos to him. I'm sorry that happened to him. However, I'm still faulting him for making a woman like that his woman to begin with. The problem is there are men out there who get abused and don't stop it there. There are some guys out there that continually date these women, especially the hotter the woman is, the more attractive the woman is, the more he's willing to tolerate her abusive behavior.
That I agree
That's the
with you with.
problem. So what he messed up was a woman like that shouldn't have been his wife to begin with.
Real talk.
A lot of these men today, they don't vet. They don't vet these women. They don't date them. You see what I'm saying? They don't put them through the process. You can't be a manager hiring anybody. You got to look for background checks. You got to interview. You got to see where their minds are at. Otherwise, you're going to be like McDonald's, hiring anybody, hiring felons. Next thing you know, you got McDonald's fights like I be seeing on social media and all this other crap. When the manager should have hired this person to begin with. You see what I'm saying? So that's on him for making a woman like that his wife to start with. He should have seen the red flags early.
But you see,
Because
I'm gonna agree with you on that, because a lot of these men, a lot of these males, not men, a lot of these males, see the beauty, the outside exterior, and accept that, and then the dragon shows up a couple months later, but they're like, "Oh, she's fine, so I'm going to deal with it." Not understand that you're feeding this dragon. So I'm going to agree with you that a lot of these males got to take responsibility and say, "You know what? You saw it the first day." I had a guy a couple of weeks ago, I was on the live with him, and he said he was telling this young lady that he wanted children. And she was telling him, yes, she wants children too, but there was a couple across from them with a baby. And the way how she banged on the table, broke, spilled everything. She said, "I hate kids," and he said to himself, "She just said she wanted kids." So he said after the date, he just took her back home, ghosted her. She came to his job and asked her what's going on. And he's like, "I don't think we're going to be a fit." But you see, but he was saying to himself, "Damn, she fine." But he's like, "You know what? I can't have a child with this woman, and then I come home and something wrong with my child." So I said, on the live, I was telling him, kudos to you to see that red flag and walk away from it, because a lot of people would actually go through it and see if this woman is really capable of taking care of a child and a family.
Yeah, that's true. No, I agree with you. Now, the part where women mess up is because I learned a lot in the dating game is we got a lot of women today. They hit men and think there's no repercussions for it, right? So what happens is you leave a resume behind. So whenever a woman wants to date a good guy and she come across a decent man and a man finds out that she hits a man before, he's not going to want to deal with her. So that's why I say where women mess up at, because we got all these women that are leaving these resumes behind. You see what I'm saying? But when they come across a good man who sees that, he's going to be like, nah, I don't want to date this woman. She's hit men before. She's hit a bunch of dudes before. She might hit me. Imagine Chris Sean, who was dating Blueface, becomes single. And the next guy comes up was like, hey, so what's your name? My name is Chris Sean. Oh, so what was it like with your ex? Oh, I used to beat the guy's butt. And the guy was like, I'm good. That's why I fought the women
But
on it,
she
because
just
we do.
she just went through that though.
I understand that, but look at the resume she leaves behind. Any
No, but
guy
I'm
she
saying
dates,
the dude left her because she was the abusive one.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Blueface wasn't the first one that she was beating up. He's not the first. There was
No, he
somebody
not.
before him.
It started when it started her senior year in high school.
I know, but I'm just saying as an example, because she was doing all that, any guy that she dates from this point is going to see that. This is where a lot
Yep.
of women are messing up when they act abusive. If the man you deal with next finds that out, he's not going to want to deal with you. This is
Right.
why a lot of men are avoiding marriage, because these women are leaving resumes behind. Like, I don't want to deal with this nonsense. You see what I'm saying? You can't be a felon trying to hire for jobs and they find out what your felony is. They're going to look at you like, nah, I'm not going to hire this guy. It's not going to
Yeah.
happen. You see
Real
what I'm
talk.
saying? So, like, that's why I say the women who have the audacity to think they keep putting their hands on these men, but when you come across a real man, when you finally come across a masculine man, he's 9 times out of 10, he's not going to want to deal with you. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of a fault defect, if you kind of understand what I'm saying, if that makes sense.
No, it makes
It
sense.
makes
I get
sense.
it.
It makes sense.
So, Beyonder, do you have anything that you want to say? I know you was on here earlier when I first got on. You had to go.
Oh yeah, I just came back. So I don't know what the question that was posed before. I don't know.
Well, we're pretty much talking about who handles rejection better, men or women.
Yeah, right. And I said earlier that men handle it better. I think I said that before. Yeah, I said that there are factors into it. So like, when a woman rejects a man, it's upfront so that the man knows. But then when a man does it to the woman, it's covert. So it's like in the back end. So like if like I'm in a friend zone, for example, right? And this girl put me in the friend zone, and then I'm able to smash that girl. I got what I wanted. Now I ghost her. Not saying that I do that. I'm just saying like it's an example. She's not gonna know why because I wasn't genuine with my intentions. So it's all about the intentions you're doing it for, I guess. And
Right.
then men handle it better because men are always being told. Well, not always, but we get told no 90% of the time, right? At work, at home, in life, like just in general. So women don't handle it as good because they don't hear no that much. So when they do hear no, they ask why, and they start like questioning why you said no.
That's a good point. Yes.
Well,
So
no, my bad. Go ahead, Beyond. I'm gonna go after you. My bad.
and
I
I was
thought you
gonna
was done.
say like, but I would say this though: women have a better like net of comfortability to fall back on because they have like their friends, their mom, their dad, their sisters, so they'll be able to like deal with it up front better. That might take like a month or 2 months or 3 months, like not dating anyone, and then they're ready to go. Where men, we move on and we keep, going to the next girl, the next. But at some point, not saying that I've had this feeling, but I'm sure there are guys out there that feel like, man, what am I doing wrong? Am I good enough? Like they'll start questioning like their own like um ability to attract women if they're being told no all the time.
The suicide rate.
So it's like, when men are unaliving themselves, I'm not saying that because of they're being told no. I mean, when you're being told no your whole life, it's like, well, what's the point? You stop trying. you give up, like all these things happen. Like men have these thoughts in their head, and if they don't deal with it properly, they're going to have like bad thoughts, and then they're going to
Think
become,
about
you
think
know,
about Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan said before how many times it told him no, that he was not a good basketball player. Think about that, right?
right.
If you read his bio, when he's telling you about how many times they even put all these other guys in front of him on the Sports Illustrated magazine. They didn't put him in the top five. That everybody said that he wasn't going to make it. Look at him now, the greatest player, one of the greatest player in the world now, the clutch player in the world now.
Yeah,
So
same with
so
LeBron, same with Tiger Woods. Like men
right.
prevail.
Right,
The ones that
but
that
if you
do.
listen, but if you listen to all of their backstories, they were all told they were not going to become more than what they are going to be average. But look at who they are now. So if you even think about it, a friend of mine said this a couple of years ago. He says women cheat at most everything they do. They cheat. The 3 point line, we have to bring it in for them, right? Everything we pertain to them, they have to come in closer, or something got to be taken away. For us, the majority of it, even for becoming a firefighter, 70 pounds you have to have on your back. They make it 50 for women. If you're in the military, it's 100 push-up. They make it 25 for them. So everything is minimized for them. But for us, we have a higher standard. If we don't get to that threshold, we're not accepted. So we understand that regardless to what, rejection make us better. Some of us, rejection makes us better. It doesn't make us bad.
Right. It just depends on the situation. Like if it's like dating or work, like you get two different reactions. So I can handle a no for a promotion at my job. Even though I work hard for it, I'm like, you know what, I'll try again next time. But with women it's a little different because like you're trying to find a partner that you want to lay down with long term or whatever, and you get to a no, it's like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do next. Like this, this happens on average. I would say for the average Joe. And when the man finds a woman, it's like it's fine. But like with women, it's a little different. Like they get told no, they start questioning and like start getting emotional about it, and then they don't know why the man ghosts them because they don't understand men at that level, I guess.
Fifth, how you doing, brother?
How you doing, Mister Unknown?
Good to see
You
you,
can
brother.
answer the prompt. Good, good. Thanks for being a supporter. You know the rules. Who handles rejection better, men or women? Go ahead, sir.
Men are often driven by ego. When man is rejected by a woman, he may struggle more, sometimes chasing for her attention. In contrast, when woman is rejected, she often moves on more easily. Overall, men tend to handle the rejection worse. I'll give you an example. Rejection is not a weakness. Rejection is the strength because it gives an opportunity to every one of us to see things from different spectrum, and it also enhances for self-reflection. But I don't really understand why men they chase a woman when they are being rejected, why they don't do a self-reflection and see a better opportunities for them. Sometimes woman rejected man not just because he is the bad guy, but she might not be ready to be in a relationship with the man. It depends on the situation and circumstances. Rejection is not a bad idea. Rejection is an opportunity for every one of us to do a self-reflection and to find the values that are very important for every one of us. We should not chase women for rejection. Therefore, the men handle rejection worse than women would be my take on it, brother. Thank you.
I would have to disagree with you on that, unknown, because for the simple fact, women are emotional creatures. Men aren't. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, I understand the point.
hold on, hear me out. Being rejected, it really doesn't phase us. It gives us, it makes us makes us more. Say we want to go out there and venture more. Because I mean, we get knocked down once, we pick ourselves up, bro. I don't know about you, but we do. We do.
Again, I said it, right? It depends on the individual and how they see rejection. The people, those who are emotionally aware of who they are, they try to preserve and promote their identity and quickly move on instead of chasing or instead of regretting of being rejected. It depends on an individual, but 90 out of 100 times, I have never been rejected by a woman in my entire life. Most of the relationship that I have had in the past were initiated by a woman. I don't know, but if I ever be rejected by a woman in near future, I would try to take it easily, and I will definitely try to find a different route altogether to move on from the situation, because I don't like to get stagnant. We gotta be inclusive. We gotta see things from a bigger box. Sometimes people reject people not because they are bad, because they are not ready to be in a relationship at that time. Probably they're gonna take ample time to do a self-reflection before they jump into the relationship. So there are so many things that we need to put into the consideration when it comes to the rejection. Will be my take in it. Thank you.
I'll have to agree with the DC King. I would say that reality, men are anchored to reality
Yeah.
more often than not. So like whenever we get rejected, like that's reality, like telling us that we're not good enough for that moment. Like I like if reality texts us, and if like we don't live in reality, reality will remind us. You know what I'm saying? So like we have to live in reality, and that's the reflection right there. We reflect by getting hit with like the reality of it. So when you get rejected, you have
Mhm.
to face the fact that you got told no, and then you reflect in that moment. That's automatic for, I would say, most guys. But I
And
think
another,
And it's like pretty much what you're saying is when a man is rejected, he's just gonna sit there and waddle in pity. No, we don't. We don't do that, brother.
not yeah,
I don't know
not on average.
about
I
you.
would say yeah.
I don't
on
know
the
about
other
your
word,
culture. I don't know about your culture, but we don't do that.
okay, on the other word, if we haven't failed, we haven't passed. To succeed in our life, we must have gone through the struggles. We must have had failed in our life. So I would take rejection very simple. I will not make it a big deal. I would just take it simple, and I'll try to move on from that situation before it turn into the chaos.
But you just contradicted yourself.
But you just contradicted yourself. Oh, sorry.
That's what I was just saying. He just contradicted himself because you just said, "Man,
No, I
men."
didn't.
Hold on,
What
hold
did
on,
I
hold on, hold on,
contradict?
Mister. No, hold on. I'm about to explain to you where you contradicted yourself. You said pretty much you're saying women handle rejection better than men, but you're saying if you was rejected, you would be okay with it. So that's a contradiction. That's pretty much you're saying you can handle rejection as a man. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I will be okay with it. That means I handle it. I'm not gonna chase her.
But you're missing. Somebody help me out.
I'll
Help me
give
To
you
out.
an
the point.
example. Hold on.
No,
I'll give
I.
you an
He's
What
example.
missing.
did I
Women,
miss? Hold on,
when I
hold
was
on. What did
talking
I
when
missed?
I was talking about reality, right? Reality hits men up front. Reality hits women on the back end. So if they're not, if women are not living in reality like in their 20s, they'll live it when they're in their 30s and 40s. Like it'll hit them harder. But for us, we get hit earlier so that we can grow and become the man we want to be in our 30s. So that way we're not having to deal with like the repercussions of being a loser.
A
But
midlife,
women don't have to deal with that.
a midlife crisis.
Right.
Women go through midlife crisis more than men do.
I
Trust
don't
me.
really. I don't really know if women they talk a shit about a man with other people when they are rejected just to project their ego to be smarter than the man. They do that too.
Brother. But when women are rejected, mainly
Uh-huh.
they get angry, they get upset, they throw things, they make a scene, they make arguments.
Right.
When men get rejected, we don't do that, brother. We walk away. We say, okay,
The,
deuces.
the woman they talk a shit, right?
Yeah,
We're like on to the next one.
Do
even
they
on
talk a
like
shit? I don't know. In my culture, they don't do it, but in America, I wasn't really sure. If a woman is rejected by a man, does she talk a shit about that man to project her
well
ego in America?
yeah, even on Tinder, like if you
Okay.
have standards on your Tinder
All right.
and the woman
Okay.
doesn't match if the woman doesn't match your standards, she'll start questioning you like why?
Right.
Why you gotta be into the skinny girls and not the fat girls? They do that all the time. That's average. That's literally all the time.
Most
Exactly.
of
Like
you guys,
whenever your
most of you
standards are
guys,
too high for the girls, they will definitely like vilify you, make you a bad guy.
Right.
how many of you guys play sport?
I do.
I agree.
Okay,
I do too.
okay. How
Yeah,
many times have
I
the
did in
team
my
that you
school
know?
days.
There you go. How many times your own players, your own teammate let you know that you suck?
A lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if not the
And you,
player, the coach, somebody
there,
would.
there you go. But do you go back to the team and fight everybody, or do you go back to the team to find out what did I suck at so I
What I
could
can
become
do
better?
I will not waste
exactly,
my
what I can do
time.
better. Women don't
Huh?
do that. They
I will.
won't tell the
They won't.
truth to their friends, and they'll just feed them lies. And then when they get
Right.
rejected, it'll be worse for them because they don't know how to handle it.
Right. We had a lady here. I saw this interview a couple of weeks ago of this lady that when she was in her 20, when she was 19, 20, she was getting to the club with her girlfriend's free because she was a supermodel. So by her just coming to the club, she was bringing in people, right? So now she's 50 years old and she went to the club, which to me a 50-year-old shouldn't be in a club, but anyway, that's her thing. But she went to the club and they wanted her to pay to get in. So she's trying to start a woman movement for women in their 50s that the clubs are no longer letting them in. So the guy said to her, the interviewer said to her, "But why would you be in the club at 50?" She said, "Well, I wanna hang out." So the conversation that they were having, the guy said, "But when you were in your 20s, didn't you meet potential husbands?" She said, "Well, I wasn't thinking about it now then." He said, "Well,
Exactly.
now." So she's like, "Well, now I'm 50, 50, and I'm past the age of having children, but I just want a man to, be there for me." And the guy said to her, "But those men that you're looking for, they want the girl that's in the club,
Yeah, it's to my
right?
point. Reality hits
So
them later in life,
Right.
not
let
up
me
front.
ask you. Let me ask you one questions to everyone here, to myself too. How many of us desperately look an attention from a woman? Be honest.
Desperately, I
Yeah.
don't know about desperate, but like, I mean, you definitely want to like, you definitely want validation, but like not desperately though.
Right.
I would
Okay.
say like in this new generation, definitely
Yeah.
because they're on TikTok and Instagram doing these
Mm,
weird dances
Yeah.
and whatnot.
yeah.
But like, I'm 28. I don't really
You're right.
identify with the younger people.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
do that.
New generation, new generation like 22, 23 years old kids. Oh my God. They desperately need an attention in a TikTok. Just to be in a center of attention, they make a videos and they create a content just to be viral.
No, they just want to be popular.
Yeah, they
It's
just want to be
popularity
go
and
viral.
likes, popularity and likes, and to mix and mingle with the in crowd and see if they can make themselves profitable for someone else.
I was having a
Well, let
very
me.
intellectual, I was having a very intellectual discussions with my American friends. The one lady, she came in and she tries to prove her she's better than me in her intellect. I was not even talking about her. I was not comparing and contrasting any intellect, but she just came in a live and she wants to prove that she is the super smarter than anybody else. And I was like, what the heck? And I asked her simple questions. She didn't answer the questions. She just rambled. She just bumbles. And I was like, oh my God, where is TikTok going on right at the moment? And what is the message that this new generation gonna gives to the elderly people? I
Because
was surprised.
Let me.
when
Let me.
you
Let me
ask,
speak to your point. Let me speak to your point, unknown King. Hold on one second. Let
right,
me speak to your point, unknown. So I'm 38 years old. So I'm from the generation that went from analog. We were born at a time where we still had analog, and then digital came. So we was able to see things before the internet got the way it was, social media and everything. So anything that we wanted or needed had to be within proximity. So now what happens is today's generation are spoiled by the broader reach. So it creates this illusion that they're owed something and that they're entitled to everyone's validation because of the click of a button. They can go on TikTok, Instagram, all these things that you're talking about. But we had to, and they consider social media their social circle, as
right,
whereas we grew up where our social circle
Not
was
reality.
our neighborhood.
yeah,
It
exactly,
was our reality was centered in our neighborhood. It was within our family. That's where we got our growing pains from,
right,
right? And so
Right.
what happens is they've taken that of all fields. They put it in a professional and a romantic field. So young people going on job interviews is very different from back then when we went on job interviews.
yeah,
You understand? And the methods and the tactics that we have right now when it comes to actually meeting someone and having expectations of someone is way
yeah,
different from when I was younger and from the ones being born after the year 2000. And
So
that's
let me
not a
take you
knock
back.
at everyone born after the year 2000. I'm just saying that there's a difference in the way the mechanics and the way people respond to things
Uh-huh.
because of what we have going on. Go
Is
ahead,
it?
King.
So
I
let me
have
so,
Yeah,
so
one.
let me so let me
the
hold
I
on.
lines
So
have
of
let me hold
word.
questions
on,
to
hold on.
Bio.
Let me take
Bio, I
let me
have
just
one questions, brother. Bio, I have one questions to Bio, brother. Is it because of the social construct, or people are influenced by the influencer in a social media? What is your take on it?
Social media, for sure.
Yeah.
Social media blurred the line between reality
Right.
and not reality. So
so
when
so
you
let me
have
take you
someone on,
let me take you guys one back, right? Because I think I'm probably the oldest on here. I don't know. I'm going to give you my age. So when I started dating, we only have AOL. I don't know if you guys know what AOL is, America
America
Online, right?
Online.
Yeah, I
Right.
remember
So
that.
you would have to dial, and then it made us on, and then you connect the dial up, right? And we had a thing called a beeper. I don't know if you guys know about the beeper,
Yeah,
right?
I remember
So
that.
okay, so you have to call a
Yup,
number,
pages, all of that. Yup.
Two way.
pages, right? But those two things, right? Still had to interact with somebody. You had to make a phone call. You had to call somebody back. After the 90s and the 2000s came in, right? Now when I grew up, we only had HBO and TNT and Cinemax. That was
Yep.
it. That was
Yep.
that was
Yep.
that was all the cable channels, right?
It was. And we only
Now
had four. And we only had four regular networks back then.
four regular networks back then. Now my TV station, I have 600 and something channel, which I only watch four. Don't know why, right? But there's only four channels that I watch. So we didn't get a chance. It's like I told this lady a couple weeks ago when I live with her, and I said to her, you know, in your town that you live in right now, of 200,000 people, you're probably the prettiest girl in that town. You're probably the prettiest. But there's 360 million people in America, so you're average. She said, no, I'm not. I said, ma'am, I want you to watch Tyra Banks' show, America's Top
That's top
Model.
model.
There was a young lady from Indiana that they show everybody in the town said how beautiful she was, and they're giving her all these kudos and all this stuff. She came to the Tyra Banks show. She's telling her, you're average at best. You know, she's like, you know, yes, you're 5'11". Yes, you know, you got freckles and you got blonde hair, but you're not a model. You know, you don't go. And she's crying, and the mother said, oh, Tyra don't like you. She's telling her, that have nothing to do with me liking you, but you're average,
He was
right?
telling her the
So
truth.
she's telling her the truth, right? Which everybody should have told her them, but because of the internet now, right? Somebody living in a town of 200,000 people could reach out to somebody in another state or another country, and they go, "Wow, she's beautiful." But the world don't see her as beautiful, or even see that guy as handsome. They're like, "Okay, he's average. Okay, she's average. Okay, I see that she's average." But the world, my world back then in the 80s and 90s, she would be beautiful. I would be
Yeah.
handsome. But the new world we're living in, you're average. We
Right.
see that. So now these new generation kids, and a lot of you guys are in your 30s. I understand that. So I feel sorry for you guys because when I was dating, I had to physically go sit with my girlfriend. I didn't have a girlfriend. I went to go sit with court my lady, meet her family. We decided what we're going to do. Am I a fit for her? Is she a fit for me? And from there, we got married. We didn't indulge in the boyfriend and girlfriend thing. So now the new age people, you guys got to go through a lot just to get somebody interested in it. So I feel sorry for you guys. Hope you guys figure it out, okay? Because it's crazy out there for you guys.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm 49, brother. So I already know. I've been there. I'm where you at, bro. So yeah, I grew up. I was born in '76. So yeah, the '80s and the '90s. I'm already hip to that. And how the whole spectrum has changed when in the dating scene. Um, because like you said, we used to court women. Women used to like to be courted, and they didn't have expensive taste either. They appreciated where we took them, what we did for them. Now the status is so high, women don't appreciate anything. Will anybody
And I
agree on that?
and
Right.
I
You
yes,
know.
I agree with that. You know, on my first day with my wife, she made she had a picnic basket with chicken inside of it. We went to the park and we sat down because she says, I need to know what I'm going to go back and tell my dad about you, okay? Because my dad does not play. So I need to know what I'm going to go back and talk to my dad about. And I said, well, I need to tell my parents about you, why we should be here, or even talking to each other. So it's different now. Most of these kids today, there is no father in the house. So the mother's telling them, talking to the girls, and they're not telling them that, my brother has 6 girls, and I said to him, yeah, you raised them good, but you didn't raise them to be wives, right? They're taking care of themselves, but you didn't teach them how to interact with another man, with a man. And he's like, well, they could take care of themselves. Right, but they're taking care of themselves because they're adults. But they need to figure out how to coexist with a man. So when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, we had to learn because I watched my father do it, watch my mother interact with my father. So that's what dad do with mom. Okay, that's what they do. Okay, so you had a blueprint of what to follow. The
Right.
young men of today don't have a blueprint because the father is not there. And some fathers decide to walk away, and some mothers push the father out of the house, right? Because the incentive was that if he's not in the house, we'll take care of you. I know a lot of women didn't sign on to it, but majority of them did sign on to it. In our culture, signed on to it.
And then they
Hey y'all.
Yeah,
Hey,
pretty much.
let me cut in real quick. Let me cut in real quick. I appreciate everyone for coming on. I'm gonna end the stream in about a few minutes. All right. Everybody can take turns if they want their final thoughts. I'll be live again Thursday afternoon. Thank you, everyone. Y'all can go.
Thank you, sir.
Go
Thank you
ahead.
for having me up. I will be back on
hey,
now that I see you guys, and I'll support you live.
hey, Fifth, I respect you fully.
Thank you,
You know
brother.
what I'm saying? You keep it 100 every step of the way. No pulls, no punches pulled. I just want to say this is the safest place I've been in, as far as panels are concerned. Uh everybody
Thank you.
and everybody respects everybody. We may not all agree all the time. No, because we're not going to agree. We're not the same person. But the thing is, we can agree to disagree. That's why I respect this panel and everyone in it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. Unknown, you got any final thoughts?
Thank you so much, brother. Your panel is designed to be safe and welcoming, giving everyone the opportunity to share their voice and perspective. And I encourage you to do the live every single day so we can come and share our ideas and thoughts. So we all together can learn and will make our community more safer and more prosperous. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Fifth.
Thank you, sir. Beyonda, Mila, y'all my moderators. Y'all got anything to say?
Uh, I don't have any final thoughts at this moment.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
Beyonda, any final thoughts?
yeah, I would just say, thank you for having me on. I literally found you on live on accident, and now I'm like, having a blast coming on these talks every week. I'm not gonna lie, life was getting a little bit boring, on my end. I wasn't really doing much, just about working when going home, and now I get to, go on these lives every Tuesday and Thursday. And even if I don't say a lot, it's nice hearing everyone else talk because we're talking about people who come in or random or people like Milo or DC that I like now. And, it's just really fun that you created this atmosphere where people can talk and say what they feel. And it's respectful. There's no foul language. It keeps my cursing in check. It's really been beneficial to me. So I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah,
Thank you, brother.
that's another thing I wanted to say too. I've learned how to curve my vulgar language being in this panel. It teaches you how to discipline yourself. That's one thing I do respect about your panel, Tiff. Honestly.
Thank, thank you. I
My
appreciate that.
my final thought.
I
My final
go ahead, free thinker. Go ahead.
My final thought is going to be, sir, thank you for having me up. I want you guys to pay attention. A lot of these people that were on these lives, TikTok is cutting them off because of the vulgarity of some of the stuff that they were doing. So if you pay attention, a lot of these guys are going, sir. I appreciate you. I'm going to support you. I have 2 other people that I support because you young people are the future, and we need to make sure that you guys have the equipment and the tools to carry this on. So I'm gonna follow you. I just followed you, so I'm gonna follow you. If you have a what you call that, what is that money thing? A Cash App account. You could send it to me. You could follow me, and I'll donate to your Cash App account and make sure that you follow you. So thank you for having me up, and everybody. Lives like this, and when you find people like this, you got to support them. And just showing up every day, it's good, but you got to support them also financially. That's all I have to say. Everybody have a nice day.
You too, free thinker, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, free thinker. You're welcome back anytime. You've been courteous and respectful. Thank you. All
Just send
right.
me your
So
in the notes. Just send me your Cash App thing, and I'll respond back to you.
I don't have one publicly yet, but for now, I'll accept humbly, and I say this humbly. I accept, gifts from on the stream for now, because
Okay.
that is a piece of compensation because they turn into money. But I don't tell people to donate to me because I just feel like, hey man, I'm under God's law, and He's
Amen.
gonna provide. And hey, if people want to bless me, they could bless me. But I never force people to donate. But I get what you're saying because doing that is not forcing people either, but it's just letting people know what's available. And I do appreciate that, sir. I do. I do.
But
No problem, sir.
basically,
And as you can see,
basically,
I and
basically, what Fifth
as
is
you can
saying,
see, I
information is
give
free.
people back. Right. And as people have known me, because if you look at my level, I am a gifter, so I do gift back. You know, because I have supporters. I don't call people fans. I call them supporters. You know, because I've had people
Right,
support my live, and I've only been going live for a month on TikTok because I come from different platforms. I come from YouTube mainly. So
Yeah.
I didn't start doing the lives until like late January. So I support people. I am building what I like to call a TikTok community of people, of good people, respectable people, you know, and that's my goal is to build a YouTube community so that we can inspire people.
right.
I agree with that, sir. I just followed you, so anytime you come up, I'll be following you.
All right, I'm gonna follow you back, and I just want to let people know all live replays go on my YouTube channel. Yes, this is TikTok, but I also treat this as an actual show. This is why I host it and moderate it the way that I do, because it's also an actual show. You know, so my YouTube channel is on the left. YouTube at Fifth General TV. It's in the graphic for those who can see. I go live every
Yes.
Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. All right. So thank you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna disconnect everyone and I'm gonna give my final thought before I go. Okay. I appreciate everyone for coming in. Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Fifth, before you disconnect and give your final thoughts, I do want to let you know I'm doing a versus battle with Mona on Thursday at 7 p.m. It's Mariah versus Janet.
Nice. Okay. Now I'll be working, but what I'll try to do is on my breaks, try to chime in and throw some gifts y'all way and support y'all. Okay.
All right, I just wanted to let you know.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So my final thought is this: rejection. So it affects us, both men and women. But the moral of the story, the key to the story is how do you handle it afterwards? That's what's important. And are you going to handle it with wrath or are you going to handle it with peace? That's just how I look at it. You know, I promote men handle things with stoicism. Don't be tit for tat. Ladies, handle things with respect. If rejection happens, I get it. You know, rejection doesn't feel good, but you will be held accountable to how you respond to it. Okay, there are consequences to how we handle rejection if they are deemed unlawful. Okay, it's not about crashing out. Okay, we have to be rational human beings at the end of the day, men and women. We have to be rational human beings at the end of the day, and rejection does build character. Understand that a door closed now is not a door closed forever. It's a moment to self-reflect, go back in the game plan, strategize, and realize what works better. And you know what? Uh, most times, rejection is protection, God's protection. Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave that with y'all. I'll see y'all later Thursday afternoon. I love y'all. God loves y'all. And more importantly, Jesus loves y'all. All right. That's more important. That's more important. All right. God loves you and Jesus loves you. That's the most important thing right there. All right. Y'all take care. Have a good night. Have a good day.